Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this, what I'm sure is a beautiful Monday. I actually have no idea because I have not been outside. I'm going to warn you in advance, your boy is very tired today because I was up till like 3:30 last night solving one of the weirdest bugs that I have encountered. Super odd, to be honest, but if I didn't solve it, then I was not going to be able to show some stuff off on stream today. So it was like half that, right? And then half that part of you that is just like, what is happening? And you want to like problem solve, right? But I'm very tired. So I apologize in advance for my monotoneness. Who do we got? Explicit, Tanya. Oh, Liz, thank you for the 9 months. My gosh. Plot, Cool Beans, Derpius, Ragavar, Fish Pal, Great Pradinsky. Hello. Oh, happy birthday. That's awesome, Derpius Kitty. 21 is a great age. I liked my 21st birthday. Well, we won't get too far into that, let's just say. It's a fun time, though. I'm trying to, this is my ASMR voice. I get my mouth real close to the microphone. And I avoid hard consonant sounds because my pop filter doesn't work that well. Ironically, oh shit, you know what? Hold on a second. Hold up. Tanya has not been added yet. Hold up. To the thingy. So the bug was to the super patrons list is what I was going to say. The bug was, so I'll just catch you guys up really fast. First of all, I'm recording locally to avoid a snafu like last week where Twitch lost the VOD. It's really not Twitch's fault. There was that weird power outage and I don't really know how they would be expected to handle something like that. So I'm recording locally, excuse me. I hope that doesn't adversely affect the performance of what I'm showing off, but who cares? 10 FPS, no problem. And then, so just really quick, the recap. So I spent most of last week cranking through the rest of the NPC appearances. I'm almost done. I have like a day's worth of work on it, I would say, because also one of my favorite NPC editor authors just released their version of a lot of the Solitude NPCs, and they look really cool. So I think I'm going to sprinkle them in before I finalize it, right? So that's what I was working on last week. And then the other thing I was working on was this tree edit, which is going to be what we're doing today. I'll be showing off some stuff because I thought, you guys know how I love trees. It's so important to get the trees correct because this is a game where you spend a lot of time around trees, and it's all about the beauty of the natural world and blah 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 blah. And that's what the bug was related to. So I'll explain it in a moment. Give me 2 seconds here. I'm gonna go to Twitch, and I'm gonna, what's it called? No, not stream labels. Scene cards, pen, here we go. This has got to be it. Here we go. There we are. Fixed. I do not have my PC on a battery backup. Unfortunately. I probably should, though. Hello, Praxis. Hello, Mike Lock. Perfection is the enemy of good. Plot. I don't think it's too bad, though, to sprinkle in the other. You talking about the NPC edits? In which case, it's no sweat. I'll crank it out in a day, and then I'll just melt into a puddle of human from being tired. So the tree bug was really weird. Let me explain what I'm doing first of all, because I was kind of cagey about this in the last stream, because I wasn't sure if it was going to be possible. I thought it would be. It's relatively simple, or it would have been if not for this very strange bug. But so if you guys recall, I was really wanting the beauty of the Jedi trees and was trying to figure out kind of what I was going to do there. The long and short is that I've decided to use a combo of 3D trees and Merc Vior because they're beautiful, and to use, as it turns out, from the Jedi trees. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, very recently there was a big new tree mod that everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is the new hotness!" And there's so many different YouTube videos out there of people like you know those YouTube videos that people like to make, right? Oh, thank you for the sub, CP Max. Thank you very much for 5 months. People like to make the YouTube videos of Skyrim 2021, ultra graphics, a bajillion mods, right? So these trees were featured there, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It looks a lot like Kingdom Come Deliverance forests, which are among the best I've ever seen, I think. But unfortunately, the mod package itself repackaged a lot of assets that it didn't have permission to repackage, including some assets from the Unity store, which is a big no-no. So even if, we couldn't redistribute it or anything like that, right? However, as it turns out, the tree models that I really liked from it, the ones that really were the ones that I cared about, the pine trees, were from a package called Book of the Dead, which, as it happens, does have completely open permissions. You can do whatever you want with them. So, my solution was basically to create a combo of 3D trees, Merc Vior, and these pine trees from Book of the Dead. And the Book of the Dead pines are what I have not swapped in yet, but the rest of the task was basically using Merc Vior's spawns to deliver a bunch of the 3D trees. It's a whole thing. We'll jump in right now, because what I thought would be fun to do on stream as well is note all of the 3D trees plants that I'm not as super stoked on, because there's a couple. Most of them are beautiful. There's a couple that I prefer the other, like vanilla implementations or like Merc Vior or whatever. So we'll do that, and then I'll show you guys kind of what it looks like right now, and then maybe we'll swap out the other tree mods or models on stream, and you guys can see what that does. You know what I mean? So it'll be pretty good. About Charm Tree mod. I know that he's working on one. It's possible, Derpius, if it looks better. I mean, it's really just a matter. I mean, I think that I'll be pretty satisfied after this in a way that I was not before. Got to be satisfied. And then this is kind of like the last little tweak that I'm really permitting myself for digging back in. Oh my God, Tanya, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Very much appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Everyone, a round of applause for Tanya. Wow, it even shows is paying for the gift they got from Hexplicit to the community. That's so cool that it like denotes that in my stream chat. Hey. Custom growing all the trees and he's custom growing the trees? Like he's growing the trees himself and then taking photogrammetry. Hype train incoming. Yo. Wild. Awesome. Thank you guys for the hype train. I do not have a progress list this week. Ragavar, here, I'll build one in MS Paint. Just look at it this way. Imagine it's like here's what we'll do. Hold on. I'm going to cheat right now. Let me open up my sick internet window. I'm going to go to YouTube. And I'm going to go back to... Everyone knows... I mean, I can make this one in Papyrus. Does Paint have Papyrus? Or I could do it... Here's the fonts. You got Comic Sans, Papyrus. I can't remember what it's called. That shitty, like... It's pseudo-military surplus font. You know what I'm talking about? It's like serifed and it's all fat. It looks like stenciled military from like MASH on like the side of like a crate from like Vietnam in 1970. Hold on. My channel. There's that one. That one's always fun to see. Community. See, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this picture. Come on. Oh wow. Okay. Sims build music. Wow, it's too large, this image. Is it like link? Open image in new tab. There we go. That'll do. Copy image. Go here, right? Wow, look, it's like we've done it already. So take finalize NPCs. Let's delete this. Like so. Take this and we'll go we make another beautiful new one right there, right? And we'll put this, that's about centered. Let's call it, let's put it, that's green. This is purple. Wow. Beautiful, right? And then look, we can do this too. We can say plus trees. And we'll call that one just a little bit of scope creep, just a little bit of hey, this wasn't on the roadmap. So teensy tiny bit of finalizing NPCs, you got it. Plus a little tiny bit. Hopefully, it's kind of tricky, the trees work. It's the only reason why I say we might not finish it on stream today, because it's very detail oriented. I'll show you guys the process. It's pretty cool. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll show you what's going on. Oh God, paint. Okay, so there we go. Is everyone satisfied with this beautiful Microsoft Paint? Let me save this one. I'll say God, Paint is just it's good for the most basic shit, right? Oh, whoops. That's a terrible joke photo, old one. Sorry, my brain is working slow today. Yes, the green text is what I have done already. I was gonna say Paint is so good for just like turning, doing like the slightest edits, but if you need to do any more than that, my God, it is just the worst. Call this roadmap. Haha. Save. Bro, what was up with that 3 a.m. stream? You talking about 3 a.m.? You talking about last week? Okay. So we can get rid of this now. Okay. Alright, okay, so this bug, right? So this bug is one of the weirdest things. So I had encountered an issue before where WM flora fixes, Wiseman's flora fixes, caused like I don't want to say cause, something about it was in combo with whatever else is going on here, was producing, I want to see if this works too, was producing an infinite main menu loading screen, right, where just the wheel just cycles infinitely and you never get the main menu. And I was really never able to figure it out, and something about doing the tree edits that I thank you for the hype train, y'all. Something about doing the tree edits that I was doing, I think like having like a record forwarded or something caused this infinite loading screen bug to crop back up, which was a problem because that meant that I was not going to be able to show you guys, any gameplay or anything like that. So I was trying to solve it. I ended up just removing Wiseman's flora fixes because there's some alternate implementations of what it tries to do now that I actually prefer, that I found in the process of all this. So that's cool. But then my Alt Sky Full plugin here, which is kind of my plugin for all the additional graphical bits, including trees, was on its own producing the same bug. It was preventing the main menu from loading. Still a big problem. And I'm like, what the hell? I was like sitting here kind of, I don't know, I'll spare you guys the granular testing that I did. But I eventually tracked it down to these two records, these two overwrites that appeared to have nothing out of place, just like a standard overwrite record, like the same. And I ended up deleting these records, re-implementing the exact same overwrite as far as I could tell, and that fixed it. Like, it was the weirdest thing. It's super annoying because in my entire time doing this, I've been doing this for more than half a decade now. I've never seen anything like that before. I don't know what the fuck was happening. Stuff like that always sticks in my head because there's no, at least I'm sure there is a rational explanation for it, but I don't know what it is. So, I mean, some sort of data embedded in there that was left over from WN Flora fixes that was not visible through the GUI that I'm using. I don't know. I have no idea, but it's fixed now, knock on wood. And we'll see. Okay, how's our beautiful jazz music? Actually, you know what, if we're gonna hear Skyrim. Everyone wants to hear Skyrim, right? I love you, Sims. You know I do. We're gonna close that for now. I'm gonna bring up my audio levels so we can hear the beautiful game. Shit, maybe I shouldn't have closed it. I'm glad you guys like the music, but we'll go for Skyrim's audio for now. So let's jump in game. Maybe it was Flora fixes from LE. I don't think so though. I mean, it was the revamped one. Who knows? But the fact that the records that I forwarded produced that bug is like the weirdest thing in the world to me. Frankly, I'm glad that I was able to track it down at all because it was really odd. I don't know. Just chalk it up to one of those things, I guess. How y'all doing? You having a good week? I think you'll like these tree edits. I think it's pretty rad. Using this mix of Merc Vior and whatever else. But after this, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I am very tired, and there's a strong argument to be made that I can hold off like on the rest of this. It's just like, God, I'm telling you, like going through the NPCs, it's fun in a way. It's cool to see all the different, NPC variants, and like you start to get this really fun feel for what these characters will look like in the context of, a user's playthrough. And I really like that part because I said this on Twitter. I think that having these kind of unique appearances really helps attach you to the characters. You know what I mean? And so I think that's really cool. It's just that the act of like going through and selecting the appearances, changing up the face data so that it all matches properly and kind of going through them in these big batches, it's extremely boring, or extremely monotonous, I should say. The cool parts are fewer and farther between, right? And yes, most of it is kind of a grind. So I feel like in order to not go insane, sometimes I like to mix in, little tasks like this tree one. I don't know. I cannot say that it is frankly, my schedule this last week has been a disaster. I've been staying up way too late. I've been, not doing it, but hopefully this week will be a bit different. And then I'll get to move on to the MCM automation. I saw CP Max, you asked. So the MCM automation, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how long it's going to take because I've not really done it before. I don't know. I really don't have a point of reference yet. I don't think it depends on how quickly I'm able to understand the process, you know what I mean? Which I really can't speak for. It seems theoretically straightforward enough because generally speaking, what you're doing is just creating copies of the MCM scripts, right? And then you're adjusting the default values that the MCM loads from the scripts. That's how most MCMs work, is my understanding. I just imagine that some of them, the process might be a teensy bit different, and I don't have a point of reference for it. I can't imagine that it would take, I don't know, much more than a couple weeks. But I could be wrong about that. It's not a guarantee. That is a guesstimate from doing almost none of it. So like, if anything, you shouldn't take that as a guaranteed timeline by any means. I saw that video plot. There's so many things. This is the other thing is like there's so many things I would love to add. Like if you guys think that I'm scope creeping by like adding trees or whatever, I mean, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. You might be right, but I would like to say that I've been okay at preventing scope creep because there are so many things that I think would be super easy to implement and would be super, super cool to add that I have chosen not to add because I'm trying to keep it like content locked for the most part, right? And I'm waiting for the next versions and whatever, but there are so many mods that I have kind of on the docket that I think would be really, really cool. Let's make a new game. So it should be good. It'll be grand. I just want to get this thing out to you. Part of me even wants to like, I mean, the MCM automation is so useful, and I'm so fucking tired of having to do MCMs myself, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one. But part of me just wants to get this thing out to you guys. You know what I mean? And then build from there and do it. It feels to me like if anything is, thanks Shepherd Boy. It just feels to me like if there were some important feature, like some final important feature to jam in there, it would be, oh my god. This is at 28 FPS. I feel like it's because I'm recording the stream in addition to streaming. The shit runs at like 60, this scene. Otherwise, it's very depressing. Please forgive the performance. And this is what I was afraid of. This is why I don't record or haven't been recording locally, right? But it sucked last week. It sucked not having the whole stream for everyone to watch on YouTube. You know what I mean? Mike Locke, I probably can do MCM automation on stream once I kind of wrap my head around it. Yes, Heavy Burns videos. The editing is insanely good. It's really good. How much does Special Edition rely on CPU over GPU? I mean, I can't say exactly. I'm not like an architecture person. And I think it depends a lot on what mods you have running, right? Oh no, I don't have Jedi trees enabled, do I? Let me alt tab out here just to make sure. I don't think I do, but it's worth checking. It's a lot better at utilizing your hardware, that's for sure. Okay, cool. We good. Hello, Sacroletius. I have not gotten my new CPU yet. I am supposed to either get it by like a week from now, or I'm supposed to know that I'm not gonna get the one that I ordered. In which case, I'm probably just gonna like bite the bullet and then downgrade and get a little bit of a refund back, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But I really, really want the one that I ordered is the 5900X. For anyone who's following this stuff, like, it's impossible to get the 5900X. I called these people who are allowing these purchases like in December or whatever, whenever I purchased it. And I asked them, I was like, are you guys sure that you're going to be able to fulfill these? Because there's like a crazy shortage right now. And they were like, yeah, definitely. Narrator, spoiler, no, they weren't. But they are getting a shipment from AMD. They've managed to fulfill a couple orders. And I want the 5900X because the way that my understanding of the architecture is that it's really nice for like multitasking. And I'm going to be doing a lot of multitasking on this computer. It's not as if the 5800 is bad or anything, but it would give it a slight edge up in an area that I really want, right? So I don't know. I'm waiting. I'm excited to test this on the new hardware, though. Yes, Plot, I would like to get it out for testing, but I would like that testing to include the MCM automation. You know what I mean? Someone give me a name for this standard Nord that I'm making. What's his name? I hope so, Mike. Yes, that is correct, Archmage. It is it's just like a platform, and then on top, like, probably the first things that I'm gonna kind of worry myself about are like some gameplay systems expansions. So things like Winter Sun or like religion gameplay, things like Standing Stone adjustments, complete alchemy and cooking overhaul, stuff like that. I think would probably be first up on my list. Anything that gives people a bunch of cool character building variety. I'm not going to do biggest dick as much as I would like to. Standord, Vader, Pumpernickel. That's as much as it'll let me get. There we go. He's beautiful. Please continue. As you can see, those tree models, those planter models are 3D trees. Looks really nice. So what we're going to do right now, I'll show you the area that I've already edited, right, for trees, which is the snowy pines. And then we're going to look around at various 3D plants to see, because there's a couple of them I know that I want to revert. So I'm going to see about that. It's going to be such a fun time. I'm going to be like running on fumes. I'm going to be super tired like this. You guys will be able to hang out with me and keep me awake. Ugh, this is a nightmare. I'm too ashamed to show the FPS that it's running at. This is like really terrible. It's like killing my frames by like a solid 15 FPS minimum just from the recordings. Ugh, how am I supposed to... What's up, dude?
Yes?
Yes? How am I supposed to show off gameplay at 15 FPS? If I go like a... Ugh, whatever. I'll just leave it on. We'll just all stew in the shame together. It really does. This is terrible, though. It's all like stuttering, too. Like, this is not the business. This is not how we want to do things. Clear up the weather. Set game hour to 10. That's fine. This will show you guys some of the trees. God, this is honestly horrible. This is what I was afraid of. This is why I haven't done it. Part of me wants to stop the recording and just bank on not getting another power outage, because when I don't get a power outage, Twitch is fine, right? Gets my VOD all nice and chill. That's pretty cool, Sacrilegious. I like that a lot. Okay, I'm gonna cancel the recording. I'm gonna stop recording. Alright, well, I have a backup then of, is it still gonna be... Come on. I don't even know if it's helping now. It's like the whole thing is just donked to start with. I also have not restarted my computers in like a week, which might be a problem as well. But it seems, I don't know, it's still getting pretty donked. But in any case, you can see kind of what's going on here. I mean, probably need to restart my computer. I could cancel the stream. I don't want to cancel the stream though. I'm afraid it's gonna break. Anyway, here's like generally, so here's what is going to be changed. You have, ooh, hold up. I'll just go around. I'll just climb these beautiful rocks right here. So these trees right here, you can see this almost kind of vanilla styled pine. Those are Merkvior. Those are what I'm going to swap with the Jedi trees pines, right? Which... This is 3D trees. The Jedi tree, or not the Jedi tree, sorry, the Book of the Dead kind of fit a bit better, I would say. I don't really like having these style pines next to these ones, but these ones match the models that I really like. Yeah, the frames are a bit better, but this will kind of give you a sense of, you know, like every one of these pine placements is going to be replaced with the new models, so you kind of get a sense for, like, how the forest feels and, you know, how, thick it is, and so on and so forth. I really should have restarted my computer. I could restart it. What do you guys think? What would you do? For you or me, would you restart the computer? Would the stream get all messed up? I don't know enough about Twitch. The grass mod is Folkvanger. Also something you gotta watch out for. My computer's basically falling apart at the seams. There is a... Are the wolves coming after me? Please don't. There... I don't know if it's going to mean plus 30 FPS, because I also have the Alt-Tab thing enabled, which kills frame rate. And, oh, here's one of the things I wanted to point out, okay? Or to fix. I'm going to print screen, because I don't really like this version of this plant. It's the 3D trees version. Yeah, it's the part of SSD display tweaks is it basically lets you upscale. So I'm running in borderless windowed right now, which makes alt-tabbing much better, but it also hurts the performance. I could definitely adjust that. I don't know, when I'm like doing it for myself, right? Like, or when I'm just working on the dev build, like, it doesn't really matter to me, like the performance. It's just that it's not super fun from a viewing experience perspective. Stream is very laggy. That's not good. Doesn't look like I'm dropping any frames. Oh, Twitch. Oh, here's what I'll do. Shit, not just for you too. Made a lot of progress. Oh, cool. That's dope, Sacrilegious. Let me go here. You can kind of see what the deal is. Maybe if I restart the client, let me know if you want anything. It'll be okay, but we're just going to do this real fast. I wanted to check. I'll show you guys what the snowy area looks like, which is actually processed already. Gotta stay hydrated. Here we go. I think it looks very nice. So basically, you get a lot of these trees, right? It's going to look a lot like this. Should turn up the audio so you guys can really immerse yourselves in the beautiful environment. I'm deciding on these snowberry bushes. I kind of like the light pink. It's really nice. The mountain flower, I know everyone's kind of crazy about the mountain flowers from 3D trees, but I almost prefer the regular. So what we have here, I'll kind of show you an example. If we go down here, right? So I really love these 3D trees, kind of pine models, and those are beautiful too. Oh shit, my cat wants out. He's such a cutie. He's really the best. Okay, so I'll show you kind of what's going on down here. So, whoops, I forgot I'm already in God mode. Also, you see this, remember this texture thing from last time? So my poor hard, everything is running on my external hard drive. I need to migrate it back over to my main computer because I moved it to my external a long time ago, back when I was able to, you know, work from somewhere other than home. Unfortunately, it has not been the case for quite a long time now, as it is for everybody else. But so I'm pretty sure that my hard drive is having a really hard time now that it's almost full, and it's having a difficult time with texture streaming. Hey, kitty cat. Hello. Come here. Come here really fast. Hi, buddy. Hold on, just real fast. He wants to go outside. He's probably not going to stay. But this is Reggie. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. He's really... Oh, there he goes. This cat is like the softest, sweetest, like gumbiest cat. He is... So, what is that saber cat doing? You coming over? You trying to figure out how to get to me? Yeah, yes you are. I'm gonna kill you. He is really such a sweetheart. I gotta let him out. Oof. I love him quite a lot. We have two cats. It's him and then my other cat, whose name is Q, and I promise that predates QAnon and all of that. Anyway, so here's the trees. One of the cool bits here is that, so two tree mods, Merkvior and Skyrim 3D trees, right? As someone who's worked with these mods for a little while now, I can say that Merkvior is holistically, from like the way it's built, one of the best, if not the best, tree mods out there. The models themselves are really cool, right? they're not to everybody's liking, depending on the style of trees that you like. But in general, I think if you install Mercvior in your game, you're going to get a consistently beautiful game. The attention to detail in the implementation is what makes it really next level, to my mind. Now, 3D trees, comparatively, is probably the best overall models in the tree game. We'll say that, you know, these are all 3D trees. They are really, really incredible across the board. Like, there's just models that in my opinion are of higher quality than almost anything else out there. But Mercvior, what it does that is kind of next level is it has a bunch of custom tree placements, whereas most tree mods just replace the default tree models and call it a day, right? And there's nothing wrong with that approach. That generally gets you the look you're going for. But Mercvior has like its own proprietary tree records, and it places them, hand places them throughout the world, right? That's really cool. So what we get to do because of that is what I've done here, and this is kind of what you will see with the pine trees in like the, you know, Riverwood, Fall Creek area, is that I get to utilize the placements of Mercvior, its custom proprietary placements, swap out the models with 3D trees. I've tried to align the wood, not the wood, sorry, the models very closely. So if we have, you know, a model that is a tree of roughly this size and shape in Mercvior, then I take models from 3D trees that are similar in size and shape, right, and try and replace them that way. And this is the end result. Although, you know, Sacroletius, what you just mentioned might actually be an issue that might explain why that, what's it called, Sabercat was getting weird. Hold on a second. We can experiment with that. Might have place at me. Let's do some, that'll be fine, maybe. Call it 3. Okay, we have God mode, right? Alright, so we want to watch these people, how they move around at us. Oh, fuck, they're all ranged. That's not good. Okay, well, I should be able to break their bows. I have a bow. Well, I'm not going to be able to break it with that. Now Requiem's going to initialize. Just give us a quick moment here while Requiem initializes, of course. Cat cam, of course. Someone said something about NPC mods I saw, but I can't scroll up. Hello. There, that broke her thing. Wow, that's enough to do it, eh? Stop. It wasn't enough for him. Oh, maybe they're just switching. That makes more sense. Okay, well, a power attack will do it. There we go. Yep, and then they're going back to it. Don't switch. Yeah, okay, perfect. Your bow is broken. Oh, shit. She's running. Okay. Let's see. How are you going to handle the trees? This will be a good experiment. Yep, she's running into that one. How about this? Can I get you to... He's avoiding this one. This is why you generally want to try and find models that fit, right? Ow. Okay, so you made it past there. Because otherwise, they're not super great at, like, navigating the space. So these are all fine. Come on. He's not ugly. He's just got cloudy eyes. Yeah, so this is all good. Let's try over here. But yeah, so it's really nice. It's essentially like getting to have like an auto, not quite auto distributor of the models that you want. But if you know what you're doing, it's all right. It looks like maybe this one is... Let's see. How close can I get you to this tree? Come on. Oh, pretty close. Okay. So I think it looks really good. This guy. He's not ugly. He's just unique. He looks pretty cool. I'm gonna kill him now. Thank you for... Oh my god, this is running like terribly. Okay. So that's what this area looks like. I think it's real nice. That's it. The reason I didn't restart my computer was because I have all these windows open that are going to be really useful in helping us swap the models, and I didn't want to like reset it up, right? Now let's go to Morthal. I'm sure that'll run beautifully. It won't, I promise. I'm glad you guys like it. It started out as kind of like, just like an idea, and it really like the reason that I allowed myself to do it was because it didn't take that long. Like, I did this in an afternoon, right? Like, I spent the whole week on the NPCs. I did the tree edit in like an afternoon yesterday, just thinking like, oh, this will be cool. I'll show this off on stream, right? And it'll be no sweat, and I can show everyone kind of like the tree edit or whatever, just as like a little treat to myself, right? Lo and behold, there's like a massive bug that, I mean, the bug itself, not massive, but it just took so much fucking time. It's just very annoying. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I like the general feel of Morthal well enough, but some of these trees, like these green reach trees, I would like to swap out. So I've already swapped these trees back in. These are Mercvior. I like the kind of dead feel. These ones are okay because they're basically like dead pines. Like those are dead pine needles. It's just these ones that I want to get rid of, or I want to revert back to their original kind of thing, right? I think that'll be, I want to preserve this kind of feel for the marsh. This is not ETAC plot, I don't think, or I don't think so. I think it's JK's. I don't think the SSE ETAC has a Morthal, or if it is, yeah, it's JK's Skyrim. Either that or it's a port of both. Enhance Landscapes is a dead marsh plugin. Well, the thing is, Mike, is unless it's including its own models. I mean, the marsh is already dead. It's just the issue is the models that are being replaced, right? So like right here we have, what is this? This is a default base, right? Reach Cliff Tree 02, whatever that is. So it is swapping whatever these trees are for this new model, right? Which I actually want to replace anyway, because as we saw in the last stream, I'm not... I mean, I think these stream models are great, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that they're a good fit for the feel of either Morthal or the Reach, and they're reused for both. So if you got something like Enhanced Landscapes, it would basically just... if the model is still replaced, then it's just going to distribute the wrong kinds of trees, if that makes sense. Let me see. Oh, Sacrilegious, you mean like adding custom tree placements without nav cutting them into the nav mesh? Yeah, I wonder about that with Mercvior, because I don't think it has any nav mesh edits, so it's probably what it's doing. Unless they're like nav cut by default. I don't know much about that, to be honest. Okay, this one we want to take a little screenshot of, because that's one of the ones I wanted to revert. Also the death bells, of course. I mean, don't get me wrong, those are beautiful death bells and all, but I like some of the other models instead. These purple things are pretty cool, these like ferns. Problem is I have a very saturated EMB right now, so the color balance is like a bit off. And also you got stuff like this where it's like, of course, JK's adds all these trees, assuming that they're a different model. So something like this, this is part of the testing phase, so to speak, is I just go through and then cull like a bunch of stuff that's just a bit too large, right? But in general, I think it looks quite nice, if you ask me. Right now, my ENB, Tanya, is the Zangdar edit, the latest Zangdar edit of Rudy Cathedral Weathers. Let's see, what about y'all? This one is like okay, right? Obviously, it's placed in the middle of that, so that's a bad example. But this guy, I'm not as sure how I feel about that. There's a lot of those up in my NPC, my favorite NPC testing area, which is High Hrothgar exterior, right? And they look like, here, I'll show you. High Hrothgar exterior 01. But yeah, just as a quick summary for what I plan to do this next week. I'm going to round out this tree edit. It should be pretty easy to do. It's like an afternoon's work. And then finalize the remainder of those NPCs. That'll probably be today and tomorrow. And then from that point, I'm just digging straight into the MCM automation, just at least to get a sense of like what it's like. You know what I mean? Like how long it might take, and that'll kind of help me decide what to do next with it. And I'll go from there. So here's the models I'm talking about. The problem with these ones is that I don't really remember what they looked like originally. And this is like a cool model. It's just like the I'm not sure if I prefer it to the OG. But this is my favorite NPC testing area. I spawn a bunch of NPCs here all the time. I set game hour to 9, like so. And then I clear up the weather. So I got like a nice horizontal lighting, like so, right? Just like that. Whoops. And then, you know, I just kind of have at it. What's the model called? The model is... I mean, it'd be very easy to see which one. So you just look at this, and then you see it swapping out into a new model, and then you just check the default. Anyway, that's them trees. So again, like this edit took me like an afternoon, and you just think like, oh, it's gonna be nice and simple, and then you get hit with just a bug. Like this does not happen very often, where you get hit with a bug that just defies explanation or logic. But it definitely did happen, and it happened at fucking 12 midnight. I was about to go to bed, and it's like, what's all this now? And then, you know, then it's 3:30. Have you edited soldiers? Oh, soldiers are heavy edited. Madmen on, thanks to Requiem and also Requiem Minor Arcana. Also, there's no Dindulad here. Oops. But so this, it's a combo of 3D trees, Last Pharaoh, and Merkvior, and then I'm gonna be sprinkling in some models from Book of the Dead trees because I like them very much, and I think they're among the best pine models that I have seen, and I think they mix really well with 3D trees. So like if we go to Falkreath really fast, Falkreath is a good example of which pines will be replaced by the Book of the Dead ones. Pretty good. Are the trees 4K? Do you mean like the texture resolution? It's maybe. I don't know. Maybe 4K diffuses, 2K normals. Who knows? Yeah, Merkvior, unfortunately, it's why I'm replacing a lot of Merkvior's trees, and I am also using the upscaled textures from them. But they're still, even with this is with the upscaled textures, and like if you get up close to these pines, still not exactly ideal. So these pines, this style of pine is the one that's going to be replaced. These are what are going to remain in theory, kind of these ones and these ones. And the other style of pine, and these guys too. Other style of pine is a lot closer to the 3D trees pine, so I think it'll look really nice. Well, the thing of like 2K and 4K and 8K or whatever, like it's kind of a misnomer, or it's not, but I think people don't really understand what it means a lot of the time. Like I've heard people, and then this thistle plant is like kind of weird, right? It's like kind of cool, but also I'm not sure if it's quite my style. But we'll say certain people, I will not name names, have propagated some misinformation regarding like the texture resolution. Like, oh, like if you don't have a 4K monitor, then you can't utilize 4K textures, or like you won't be able to notice the difference, which is not at all how textures work in the game. The way that speed trees, I've not even heard of. The way that it works is like if you go up and you look at like a texture, right? Like the resolution of a texture just refers to the literal resolution of the texture image. even a 4K texture or an 8K or a 16K texture can be made extremely blurry if the way that it's mapped to the model is like stretched or incorrect, right? In the same way that a lower resolution texture, like a 2K texture, we'll say, can be really sharp if it's mapped to the model well. But that can also, depending on how many times it's kind of like tiled in, I believe that can affect performance. Don't quote me on that though, so I don't want to spread misinformation, but I know the rest of it is correct. Anyway, imagine this forest, but imagine that every one of these pines was a different sort of kind of chiller pine. Excuse me. Right? And that'll give you a sense of what it's like. All right, with that, let's go ahead and get the hell out of here. Oh, wait, here. Let me, did I take a screenshot of that thistle? I can't remember if I did or not. Hello, Prince Wolfchild. Come on. Give me a thistle, baby. This is... Ooh, the purple mountain flowers. Those are very pretty. I like that a lot. These look like a plant that you could get, but they're not. You guys like the how do you feel about this 3D thistle right here? It's tricky. This one's in the shadow, so it almost gives it like this. This one, I don't know. There's like this glowing effect practically on this thing. You know what I mean? Like, I like this. I like the leaves a lot. It reminds me of nettles. Also, damn, Folkvanger's so fucking good. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a little weird to me. I'm gonna screen cap it. I still have it marked. Okay, let's see about swapping these trees. Every tree is choppable, Sacroletius. Oh God. Oh my God. Looks like a real thistle. Well, that's the problem there, is I have really no concept of what a real thistle looks like. So I should probably leave it. Who's to say? Okay. So here's why I didn't want to restart my computer, right? So I have these windows open that are gonna help us. So an interesting bit here will be whether we want to use these models as they are in Jedi trees, or if we want to do them. So like, here's the models that we're basically going to be using to give you guys like a preview. They're really, really cool. Like, very cool. Again, this is why I think that they match with the 3D trees pines really well, right? Oh yeah, these ones are super tall. There's definitely smaller ones. This one actually might be the same model. Weirdly, there's a few in here that are the same. Oh, this one doesn't have its texture mapped. That's okay. The whole kind of shtick here is that all of these models, this is what I mean, where like the author of Jedi Trees just kind of grabbed everything and dumped it in, right? With all the textures and meshes and so on. And that makes sense in like an open source modding scene, but that's not the one that we have, so we can't do that and distribute it. And especially we can't distribute the assets that we didn't pay for that cost money from the Unity store. But these ones are from a little pack, a little biz called Book of the Dead, and they have full permissions as far as I know, so you can do whatever you want with them, which is really cool because they're really the only models that when I used Jedi Trees, I was like, oh, give me that. I love it. So that works out really nice. Oh, no, Sacroletius, that is, we just use dynamic things. I believe all the trees are cut downable still, but I'll need to double check. Even with the new models and meshes, we could actually, well, I'd have to restart the game to check that. Okay, let me think about the best way to do this. So I think what I'm going to do here is get our I'm going to take Jedi Trees, right? Got this guy here. I'm going to place Jedi Trees above all the different tree mods. Cuttable, downable. You actually can chop down the Gilder Green, which is not good. That's probably something that should be patched. I can see about that later. Okay, this makes the most sense to me right now. We're going to run this. We're actually going to let the reference data load because I think it's going to be useful as a reference. As a reference, that's funny. It's almost like a pun. Not really. My brain's just mush. It's about as close as I can get to a pun at the moment, so I'll take it. So we're going to let these load. Now we can turn the Sims back on, which is really nice. Go the Sims build music. There it is. Beautiful. 10 hours of this. Pick of speed trees. Oh yeah, sure. Let's check it out. Well, that's loud for me, not for y'all. Oh yeah, it is very nice. Speed trees. Let's see about these trees. What is speed tree? Oh, I was gonna say I thought it shared the name with the middleware that they used on like Oblivion and maybe Skyrim. It's on the Cathedral Discord. Ah. Cathedral. I would like to see some additional images. Or there was a video. Let's see. Only shows the reach right now. Well, if we can, I can check it out for sure. It almost makes me here. Where's the? I'm in the Cathedral Discord. I want to say. Let me check and see here. Is this the Cathedral Discord? Look, streamer mode is enabled. Yeah, I'm not leaking my DMs. I think. Search tree. Maybe speed tree. Do you have the speed trees? LWAP speed tree, huh? Is this, whose work is this? Slash, what are the permissions, etc., etc.? I'm assuming, yeah, I can, it's okay. You don't need to scan the, wow, big file. Not so big. Jedi trees is like 6 gigs. It's ridiculous. Let's get those. How intensive are we talking, I wonder? I'd be very curious to see. Wow, look at this business. Is that what the Somerset Isles look like? Who can say? I would assume they're open before, or just because they're coming from the Cathedral Discord. But that's not, I would not just, yeah, I'm assuming they're open, and that's why you'll just jam them in wherever, right? Okay, so I'll show you guys what I've been doing. So what we need to do, we need to jump to flora trees, flora of Skyrim trees. This is Merkvior, and so here are the bits that we want to replace, right? So we go to Spooknik, landscape trees is one of these bad boys. It is this one. Bring it over here so you can see kind of what we're doing. We're going to go to meshes and we're going to go to landscape. Nope, whoops, sorry. Spooknik. So we want to get a feel. This is kind of the process that it's been. So if you're curious, this would be like a good learning opportunity. Tree Pine Forest 01 large. So that's this guy. So this is going to show us. That's a big old honker right there. So what we then want to do is find a model from Jedi Tree's implementation of Book of the Dead trees that exists within the plugin that matches this model roughly, right? Like, and when I say matches, I mean it's roughly the same in terms of dimensions. We're probably not going to get a tree that's going to have, you know, like a trunk with the width, because that's not the style of trees that they are, but we can get something that's probably of similar height. All right, so let's remember what that looks like, and then we're going to go to Jedi trees. Where is that at? The Jedi trees. Or is it just called Jedi trees? Who can remember? Here we go. Okay, so there's all these custom trees, right? And we want probably the replacers, I believe, is where it's going to be at. So that's usually like these. So let's see here. Okay, let's see what this one looks like. So now we want to go into, is this, no, it's Merkvior. This is Jedi trees. So we want to go in here, find the same model, SRG Tree Pine Forest 01. Okay, so let's see here. You open that one up. So that's like an okay match, I would say. It's definitely similar in terms of like height. It's definitely a big chonker, right? But it's not as full as I would like. So let's see what else we got. Dead, huh? Tree Pine Forest dead. And this is kind of the task. Like with anything else, it's, oops, that's the wrong folder. We want Tree Pine Forest dead 01. I'm checking these because sometimes they are a little less dead than you might think. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, sorry, Alaman, there's no command for the roadmap, but we can answer any questions you might have. Okay, so this one's got a texture that I don't have NIF scope scanning for. But that's definitely a dead tree, so I don't think we're going to be using that one. Let's just go back through the not dead ones and see what kind of options we got. SRG2. This is interesting. That one's the same. 4. That one's SRG. I wonder what SRG stands for. 5. And these are all the dead ones, I'm assuming. Yep. Okay, so I mean they roughly match. If I go here, just right quick, I'm just going to check the Jedi trees. Oh, this is the Jedi trees. So this one does have duplicates. Pine Forest red, sort of. Burnt red, yellow. Weird. And I don't see any other implementations of pines. Tree aspen. Pine shrubs, reach shrubs. There's a 3D trees, Scott pine. Mushrooms. Jungle trees, fall forest shrubs, cedars, birches, some dead pines, and some snow pines. So I think we are generally good. It is a lot of work of sorts, Tanya. It's easier than it looks when you know what you're doing, right? Like building a tree thing from scratch is crazy. What I mean by that, I'm referring specifically to what we're trying to do, which is basically just a model swap, right? Which is why putting it together didn't take that long. Crushing the bug, that took a long time. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is just basically, because we now know this is the only exception, is where did it go? This one. This one's weird because this is the only one where the file that it's using is different from like kind of the rest of the conventions that it's set. So I'm assuming that means that there is a Tree Pine Forest 03. Yeah, okay. So this is the other one that it's using. So that one's pretty chill. It's almost like, I don't know if I'd say a better match, but it's a bit fuller. So what we want to do here is kind of open up the all the trees that we kind of have to choose from that are defined here in the plugin. And the reason why I want to get ones that have a plugin definition, right, is because of this stuff down here. So this tree data, as you see, I actually don't know what these ones do. I'm assuming that there's something there that you could find in like Creation Kit. Sometimes values just display in xEdit as like unknowns, but they're clearly something because the author of Jedi Trees bothered to adjust these two. But some of these you can understand, like trunk flexibility, branch flexibility, leaf amplitude, leaf frequency. These all make sense, right? So it's nice to have some values for this, and that's what we're going to use as a base. xEdit also, like, it's like anything else where when you first start, like, it looks very intimidating because none of this stuff that you see, it really has meaning, or like you can't associate it with anything that you understand. But like with anything, as you get used to what it is and you start to understand what it is better, then it becomes much simpler, right? xEdit is beautiful. It's my favorite. I like the Creation Kit too, don't get me wrong. And there's definitely some things that are more, that are better to do in the Creation Kit versus xEdit. But xEdit, as a mod list author versus just a, only creating proprietary mods, and creating certain types of mods is actually preferable in xEdit. But as a mod list author, xEdit is just a godsend. It's just absolutely nuts. Okay, so basically here's our lineup to choose from. There are technically more than this within Book of the Dead. So if we want, we can go there too. But what we're going to do is open up all of these. We want, what was it? 03. There's number 3. Now we're going to go back SRG Pine Forest 4. And 5. So I think these are the same. This one and one of the other ones are the same. I know because I've done them or adjusted them. So anyway, this is going to be our lineup of trees to choose from, right? So you got 1, 2. These ones might be the same. It's hard to say. 3, 4, 5. I think these ones are the same as well. So the Jedi Trees edits. Look at this. These are identical, I'm pretty sure. Right? Yes, that is the same model. So it's I wonder why they're separate. You know what I mean? Unless something's done to the model themselves. And if I go... This is where it gets confusing. If it wasn't already. Want... Not 3D trees. I need... Is one of these... Book of the Dead? No, it's not. That's okay, though. Here we go. Book of the Dead trees. So if I go into Book of the Dead, it's got all these different trees, right? There's a lot more, I feel like, in here, almost. There's this one, and there's this one. So, I don't know. It almost makes me want to, sprinkle these ones in. Because those are suitably different. You'll see there's that one. That one's not utilized as far as I can tell. Come on. Why are you snapping? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy to me, Sacrilegia, sometimes when I go onto a mod page, right? And I see people asking for certain patches that are literally just kind of 2-line edits in xEdit. I know it's just because they don't know how to do it, right? But I think if you want to mod your own game past a certain point, xEdit kind of becomes it's these are all beautiful, and I feel like they're unused by Jedi Trees. Very cool. I feel like if you want to mod your own game, xEdit is yeah. See, here we go. Here's the big chonkers that I feel like we're seeing. In fact, I have a little note where I know this one is used by Jedi Trees. You need to know how to use xEdit because you need to be able to conflict resolve stuff. It's a necessity because of the way that the Bethesda games work, where only the last loaded information gets used in the game. But for me, if people, I think modding and playing are two very separate audiences in a lot of cases. That's what I try to target with Ultimate Skyrim, is I just want to make it playable for people. I want to give people a cohesive, holistic, standalone experience that is very modded, right? but so that they don't have to do the modding themselves. Of course, there's always going to be users who kind of take that as a base and then build on top of it, in which case it's xEdit all day, baby. But other than that, okay, well, I think, yeah, undo would be great. I don't know if it's possible. So let's get rid of all these again. Come on, NIF scope. We are, which one are you? You're 4. Get rid of you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. 1, 2. There's 2. This is 3. There's 4. This one's a little weird. I probably am going to use some of the other ones, though. That's actually annoying. Okay, because these ones, like, in here, the problem with using the ones straight from Book of the Dead is that these are the default names of the NIFs, I want to say. Yeah, like Tree, Pine, Forest, dude, so I gotta rename these. Okay, I have a, here. Yes, I agree. Sacrilegious. Yeah, it's you at a certain number of mods, you of course, Tanya, you need to know how to use xEdit, right? Because you're going to, like, something is going to need conflict resolving. The conflict resolving is huge. It would be really nice to put together some tutorials like that at some point, because conflict resolving is, you know, mostly what I do. It's just finding the time, right? Okay, custom tree edit. Wait, where's my custom tree edit? Did I delete it? Did I get rid of it? I thought that's what I called it. Did I? I must have. Oh, well, shit. Then we're just going to edit this version of Book of the Dead. Okay, so we got this big chunker. Let's find a replacement, shall we? And we're going to use pretty much the same data. Here. Come on. Come on. The big chunker started around 6 or 7, right? Yeah, I mean, this is still pretty sizable, don't get me wrong. Nope. 7, I think. Yeah, this is a big boy. Let me check my, Oh, okay. So that's 3, I think. It is. Okay, sweet. Well, then we actually have a very strong Tree, Pine, Forest, 03. So we get to take this. So we're going to copy this as override just to have as a reference into Alt Sky Full. Right? So now that we have that there, what we can then do is go to here. And we are basically going to take our Tree, Pine, Forest, right? That's the one we just used as a reference. And boom, 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 boom. Compare all of these. What do we need? Tree, Pine, Forest, 03. Okay. So we're going to copy these. Wait, that does not seem correct. Why is the Z so low comparatively? I guess this one is taller. How much taller, though? Doesn't look like that much taller. I brought them out. It's like a similar. It looks like. Oh, that's not the right one. I don't know. I guess so. I think that's what the Z bounds are. Who's to say? Let's just see how it goes. I'll show you guys how this would work. So really, this is just a model swap, right? Like so. You copy all this tree data over. And ipso facto, like, with that very small patch I just did, every instance now of Merc Vior's, like, pines that match this Pine Forest 01 is now going to be this other one. However, actually, as I stop to think about it, what we now need to do is rename. Here, we're going to make a new mod here. And we're going to call it Custom Tree Edit. Come on. Come on. Custom Tree Edit. What is this video? Is that conflict resolution tutorial? Okay, we're going to go meshes. We're going to go landscape. Go trees. And then we are going to call this, whoops. Let's copy the mesh that we want, which is what? The 03 from did I lose that? Where's God? See, this is why I need so many heckin' windows. We're gonna need another one. We don't need 3D trees right now, so I'll move these. We want Jedi trees again. There we go. Hello, Punchwood. Suggestion for current playthrough of US. Yeah. Plot's got it. Also, Balian plays on Twitch. I'm not sure if he's still playing now, but otherwise, yes. Just Wildy. Tree Pine Forest 03. There we go. Just double checking. Make sure this is the one we want. This is the one we want. Does it look as tall? Am I crazy? Looks pretty tall. Oh well, we'll find out. Sweet. Alright, so we're going to copy that mesh. I'm going to put it in my custom tree edit, and we're going to call it, I'm going to give it its own file name, and that way it's not overwriting anything, right? Now, we're going to compare all these. I'm going to edit one of them just right quick. Perfect. Copy this path, so that should work, and then those are done. It's literally that simple, right? Yeah, I mean, I think that, oh, yeah, Resi, of course. Our team member, Resident Thievel. She, uploads gameplay. Oh, does she have a YouTube channel, Liz? I'm not really sure where she puts it. A Twitch? The problem is it's tough, I think, to, it's tough to create those sorts of tutorials and have them be like popular videos, because like super niche tutorials, like that's exactly what they are, right? They're niche. And you spend a lot of time and effort on them for not a ton of return. If it's like a hobby thing, for sure. Okay. Back here. Now we're going to take all these. So these have a bit more in terms of placements than the one we just swapped in. So let's create an override. Put it here. And now let's see what this one looks like. So we can close all these bad boys. Tree Pine Forest 02 large from MercVR. What you got? So that one's like not huge, but respectable, right? It's a respectable sized tree. Let's see what we got that's equivalent. Want not you. There we are, Jedi trees. And I'm gonna put this over here. Now I'm gonna go back to, what I should probably do is bookmark this. I'm gonna, oh, what the heck? Tanya, thank you again for the 5 additional tier 2 subs. My gosh. Y'all, a big round of applause for Tanya. That is extremely kind of you. Thank you so much. Wow, I am floored. Absolutely humbled. Thank you so much, Tanya. It really means the world to me. Yeah, I think... I would think that Balian probably wouldn't stray too far from his, like, RPG kind of content. It's so sweet of you, Tanya. Thank you very much. Of course, Punchwood. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so... for this one, let us see. What are you? Got Pine Forest 1, 2, blah, 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 blah. What would be a good match from our favorites here? You, yes, okay. SRG, Pine Forest 01, Tree Pine Forest 01. This one's very tall, very cool, and very tall. I'm wondering if we don't... because, like, I kind of want to replace a lot of... like, I want the tall variants for, like, a lot of these. These ones, are they the same? They are. They're... wait, are they? If they're not, they're so close. It is. It's like the same model twice. What? Oh, this one's maybe a little bit taller. Ah, who can say? Either way, I think that's a pretty good match, right? Bay had to cancel a subathon. Oh no, that sucks. That is a major bummer. Let me check these ones. This is where I get indecisive. I feel like the Jedi author has edited these meshes too, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we know that one. Oops. It's like some of these are cool. I don't know. I'm probably just going to go for the tall ones. Let's go ahead and swap in this bad boy. Why not? Right? So copy SRG from... let's see what the other ones look like, just really fast. From, let's see, like what kind of we have to replace. So it's 3, 4, 5, and then these dead ones. What's the business there? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. Simple. Let's get rid of these so that we have a clear understanding of what we're doing. Yes, this is Sims music. Sorry about that. It's playing on YouTube. It's not through a like a Stream Elements business. This is the Sims build music. Check both NIFs. I could. Sacrilegious. It's like they look like they're the same to me. It's close enough. I just want to make sure I'm matching these well enough. Mercvior. This is what I want. Okay, so we got, this is 2, right? So this is going to be 3. Here's what we have to replace. Alright, smaller. A little teensy. This one, a little bit heftier. And they're all about the same, I would say. That one's like a little tinier, but like, really, who gives a hoot, right? And then we have... Forest Dead, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so they all fit as well. I wonder where these get used. Okay, so this looks like Morthal-y. Northern Coast. What about y'all? Yeah, Movarth's Lair. Okay, so some dead trees. Pretty cool. Let's open those up as well. Mercvior. These are what? This one doesn't get used, apparently. Forest Dead 2. Just double check that that model is correct. Tree Pine Forest Dead 2 large. What are you? Okay, so I mean these are similar-ish, right? The question for the dead trees, what do we want to do with you? Do we want to swap in like some really... Yeah, see, these are like... It's not really dead, right? It's not really dead. But we can have some fun with it. These ones are a little sparser. You could even swap in the 3D trees models if you really wanted to, right? That's a very dead tree. €100 on a headset. That would be pretty cool. If it's your birthday. You spend that kind of money on a headset, I think you're going to get a very high quality headset. I mean, that's what I did with, I mean, it's kind of different. This is headphones, right? These are sound canceling headphones. It's pretty good. Got to tell you, if it has a similar feature, I would go for it. Gotcha. Is that also Sony? Durbius? What are these? I got these on sale for about that price, actually. These are, I don't know, it doesn't say. It's like a WH MXR mods 1002, 2001, A Space Odyssey, something like that. Alright, so these are mostly just, I mean, the only one that's really dead is like that last one. So we got some options here. We got some interesting stuff to play with. What we're going to do first is focus on Pine Forest 02. It's getting all of our attention. So this is the one that we want to match, right? Beautiful. Now, SRG Jedi trees, what do you have for us? What is your O2 looking like? It's like the same one. It's a little sparse. It's a little tall. I don't think... I don't know. Actually, that's pretty good. And what was one? One wasn't the same, was it? Was that the ones that were the same? It is the same. Okay, well, we don't want to do that then. About 4. That's the one that was weird. It's probably not weird, but it's not actually. We could not use that tree. This better not be the same one. No, that one's a little different. That one's a little different. Okay. And this is the one that we're using. Copy. Custom tree edit. We're going to call this one BOTD. This is going to be a tree pine forest. Wait, dead. Oh, that's the... Hold on. Hold up just a moment. Never mind. These are the dead ones. No, they're not. What am I talking about? I'm confusing myself here. Tree pine forest 05. I just grabbed... Okay, that's correct. I grabbed the wrong one. Whew. Close one. I wonder what the dead ones look like, though. It's the same. It's exactly the same. It's like the exact same model. That's what I mean. Like, I don't know what the Jedi trees, like... Oh, these are beautiful. But see, here's the bit where, like, I don't think this is part of Book of the Dead. Or if it is, we might be able to find out. Because we need to make sure that's the case. Or else we'd be in trouble. We need to be able to source it. These are so nice. You get on out of here. You get on out of here. But this is definitely the one that I'm going to copy, so... BOTD tree. There's no collision. What? Object bounds. It should have collision. Well, not that one, I suppose. They don't have any collision data. Are you sure? Well, one way to find out. Actually, you know what? Here. Well, if that's the case, we should test them. Because this one, right? These have been edited, so we're going to be able to find them. Walk through the dead trees. Interesting. Yeah, Jedi trees is a bit wonky, that's for sure. Okay, that's fine. So we need to go to like a specific placement of these. Here, we're going to close all these really fast. Close all. Can I do that? Close all windows. There we go. Can you move straight to a reference this way? Military Camp, Falkreath, Imperial. I mean, I could always just place the base, I suppose. Okay. We're going to note this. This way we have the reference for both. Take just a quick little screen cap. Beautiful. And now we should be good to just save it right there. Yeah, you could do that for sure. We're just going to test. We're just going to test and see. We're just going to see what's up. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Last Pharaoh. I will take a look. I wish that these folders were named something different than trees. They're all named trees, so it's very easy to get confused. Okay. Let's, do I have anything else that is, taking up memory, etc.? Not really, but I mean, this computer really needs to be restarted, but I'm streaming right now, so we're not going to do that. This is the best song. This is the best one out of all of them. Okay, get rid of Jedi trees. Turn that off. Thank you very much. Now let's pop in game. Just right quick. Well, I'm stretching. Everyone remember to stretch. Maybe we should stand up for a little bit. What do you think? I'm so tired. We gotta put this tree business in the rear view. Finalize those NPCs. Get set on MCMs. Doesn't that sound like fun? It would be pretty wild, Ragavar. I hope soon. Probably not soon. Actually, maybe I don't hope soon. If it's too soon, then I'm out of a job, right? Oh, man. Oh. It would just be so nice to get the new computer set up and be able to migrate all this stuff over and not have to worry about performance and hard drives and yada, yada, yada. You guys see my Slinky? This is like my favorite thing to play with at the moment. I always have something to twirl or toss around. Yeah, it is. Well, technically, it has always been a few years away, depending on how you define a few, since the announcement anyway. Whoa. I definitely have hype for TES 6. I mean, I'm worried like anybody else about certain parts of it, we'll say, or like what they'll decide to be the priority, but new Elder Scrolls game, like nothing gets me more hyped than that. It's my favorite series, probably. One of my favorite series. Top 3. Yeah, I agree, Ragavar. I'm like, I thought the Microsoft acquisition was a good thing. Or at least I'm hoping it will be. I guess we don't really have like a point of reference even, or like we don't really know what the deal will be. But I'm optimistic that it'll be a positive change. Won't stop modding TES5. Yeah, but see, Sacroletius, you didn't even know. What if you end up liking the game? You know what I mean? What if they surprise you? What if you like it? 69 viewers, nice. I mean, you might want to keep modding TES5. Maybe I'll want to keep modding Skyrim. You never know, but hard to say. I'm optimistic. Yeah, I actually the last one that I played, people say that TS6. The last AC that I played was Black Flag, which I thought was cool. I liked it enough to play it. And then I kind of fell off after that because the Assassin's Creed, that was like right around Unity, and I think that they were kind of like not being as well received because they were hitting that yearly release cycle where it's not that different from the last one. But people do seem to like Origins and Odyssey. They look cool. Just God, I don't have the time, you know what I mean? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I think we can load this old save and still have it go. And people say TS6 will kill TS5 modding. I think that it depends on what people mean by kill, right? Like if they mean that everyone's gonna stop modding it altogether, then that's definitely not true. Because yes, there's people still like to mod the other ones, and I mean Morrowind is kind of a special case. So is Daggerfall Unity, just because they've been ported to engines that offer a lot more possibilities. So it's almost like a framework at that point, which is really cool. I'm talking about Open Morrowind, or what? It's Open Morrowind is now adding the Morrowind script extender. I'm not super up on all that stuff, but I know that it's been ported to a new engine, which is pretty rad. And of course, having Daggerfall on Unity opens up a lot of options. Ow! What just hit me? Oh, this guy again. You, huh? Yeah, he's pretty ugly, isn't he? It's not just his eyes. It's like the shape of his face. Okay. Let me see where's our little screen cap? Snip and sketch. There we go. Skyrim. Player dot move to. Will this work? 1F1A4. It does work. How about that? Makes sense. Yeah, that was my concern with Odyssey and Origin. Uh-oh. Okay. So that's not quite right. That's a distant LOD version, which definitely does not have collision. Guys, look, it worked. The perfect new trees. This is what they're all gonna look like. Shit, this is like one of those situations where I gotta I guess spawn it in. Player dot place it me. Is that gonna work? I don't think so. Well, geez. Why can't I get the full model Tree Pine Forest? That is very odd. Oh, you know what might be the issue here? Hold on, we're just gonna make a quick little save. I know why. I think I know why. Because we didn't enable our biz. Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. So probably, here's what I need to do. So watch this. I'm gonna refresh here, right? Refresh. And it's gonna be a new mod, custom tree edit. Oh shit. Now that should help. I think. I hope. Yes. The equivalent to a T-posing AI, exactly. Yeah. Ring, that's why I know anything at all about kind of the current Morrowind scenes, because Ring has been showing me Yajan, which is really, really cool. There's certain things about Morrowind, like I was watching Chaotic Tabris play it, and she was showing me just like some of the features, and I guess like with every game, or every like installment in the series, there's like pros and cons, but there's definitely some stuff in like Open Morrowind where I'm like, fuck, I wish we could get that implementation, right? Yeah, so I played how much I like TS6 as a game, as a platform. Yeah, I think that when you're a modder like we are, the most important thing about the game is how much does it facilitate mods. I don't know. I mean, one of these days, if Ultimate Skyrim gets big enough, and hopefully, you know, I can get some notoriety or some passive income or whatever, or even just like a fan base that's able to support like a Kickstarter. God, it would be so cool to build a game from the ground up. Maybe one day, or maybe I'd get like, I would consider getting like a job with a developer, right? A stable paycheck sounds real nice. It's real stressful not having one. But of course, giving up the creative control is difficult. It's basically just like a giant portfolio piece, more or less, right? Ultimate Skyrim. Yeah, I mean, Skyrim, I agree that vanilla Skyrim is like a... I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong. There's a lot about it that I like, but I agree with Sacroletius that I appreciate it more as a platform than as a game itself. It's just like the core game is pretty shallow, you know. Wide as a lake, deep as a puddle, as they say. You know, it's not even that wide, is it really? It's like kind of a small world, I guess, compared to now. It was 2011 when it came out. Recently had a discussion with this troll claiming mods were unnecessary. Yeah, I mean, I guess it really depends on what exactly it is that you are doing, or what your vision of an ideal game is, right? It's like a lot of people, probably the majority of people who have played Skyrim are fine with what the game is by default. I think in some cases that's because they don't know what's going on underneath the hood and like kind of how shallow some of the systems can be. But I think that a lot of people are just satisfied with what you get out of the box, you know? I get it. I think it's an extremely accessible RPG experience, which is pretty wild. Majority of the people take a lot of time to mod the game. Oh yeah, I mod far more than I play. Okay, hopefully this will work. If not, I'm going to quit it back out to the main menu and then start a new game to see if that helps. If it works. Oh. Yeah, The Witcher 2 is pretty cool. It has like some cool systems. It's the same issue where I think the more you peel back, kind of the gnarlier or kind of weirder it becomes. I don't know. It's... Oh god, well that didn't work either. It's because it doesn't have the texture mapping. But the model works now, and now at the very least, let's see. It has collision. Hey! Why is this here? What is happening? Oh, because I placed it at me. That's right. We just created a tree. Yeah! Get it! Yes! Yes! Hell yeah. Okay, well, so here's the reason for that. Now, it's sourcing the model properly, but the textures, it doesn't know where to look for them, right? Guys, this is what all the trees are going to look like. However... Oh, it's just the dead-looking trees that had no collision. Ah, I understand, Last Pharaoh. Short dead ones. I understand. Well, we'll make sure not to use those. I feel like it's the object bounds that defines that. Look at that. Ugh, beautiful. What more could you hope for from a tree mod? All right, well, at least we know that. Because what I wanted to do there was check it, right, just before we went too ham. Hey, Tayson, how you doing? Yeah, how do you like that tree? It's a pretty good one, right? Yes, that is all very, very true, Shepherd Boy. Yeah, so now that we know that those ones have collision at least, that makes me a bit more comfortable. Also, let's try, for fun, let's try, what's it called? LWAPS Speed Tree V5, I think it said, right? I hope that Todd is in the game. How you doing, Tyson? What you been up to? And yes, Sacroletius. It's the modder's curse. You dig into the game files and you go, this game's actually shallow as fuck. And then you want to change it. I like games where it's like the more you peel back this is my ideal type of game, right? And it's very difficult to do, and this is an extremely this is almost like an arbitrary statement, so arbitrary as to be pointless. But the kind of game where it's like the more you peel back, the more you understand about it, the more fun it becomes. Like the more like it rewards kind of doing that with like deep, complex systems that interact in interesting ways. That's the kind of game that I want to make. Right? I feel like you're the same, right, Sacroletius? You're a very horizontal progression, systems-based, depth-interested modder, I would say. Oh, come on. Oh, wait, why am I even trying to start it? I haven't even turned the mod on. Well, good thing then. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to disable these. Aspen's ablaze. That means we also need to disable alt sky full, which is okay. And then we're going to see what happens. Let's see how this really kills our performance. SKSE run. We will see. Yes, I did, Last Pharaoh. I do that kind of shit all the time. And yes, Kazuki, Dwarf Fortress. I need to sit down and really play Dwarf Fortress because it is such a huge inspiration to me. Like, I kind of like, there's several games that I just don't have that much time to play games. I need to make more time. 3D Dwarf Fortress is like my dream. Like something of that level of complexity, right? I was actually talking with Liz, my wife Liz, not Team Liz, the other day about how cool it would be to make something with the complexity of Dwarf Fortress and kind of like an Elder Scrolls style, like direct control first-person RPG. But it's like, how do you do that while also getting decent performance? Yeah, I might wait until the Dwarf Fortress Steam release to pop in to try it out. That's awesome, Pumpkin Cake. But that's like the level of complexity that I'm going for, right? And then the difficult cross section of Dwarf Fortress level of systemic interaction and complexity with Skyrim or good RPG level, like unique characters and writing, right? Like I think Skyrim's writing lacks in some important areas, like the okay, let me be clear here. I think Skyrim is ironically a pretty well, like what's in there is very well written, or like interesting generally. I think that they actually did try quite hard to write well. And what I mean by that is that like there's a lot of writing for characters that's really solid. There's a lot of writing for the world that's really solid, kind of like cultural stuff and like the books and what's going on in terms of like the conflicts of the era, like that kind of stuff is all really good. I think that the plot of the game and the plot of some of the quest lines is not as strong. And even that, I can't say it's because the writing itself is not particularly strong. It's like okay, it's not great in some areas, but on the whole, it's pretty decent. It's also because the quest lines are just so truncated, I think. But it's pretty good, right? And I think that you realize how much you miss that kind of writing and characterization when you start interacting with kind of generic NPCs, right? Or like when you play something like, okay, like I'm a big fan of Mount and Blade, right? And Bannerlord came out in early access a while ago, and I like so much about Bannerlord, but I think there's a strong argument that it's kind of soulless because there's not really been, like, all the different lords and characters are pretty much the same at this point, which I think is placeholder. I think they plan on expanding them. But it really illustrates the point that I'm making, I think, where you realize how much soul individualized character writing brings to a game, and to like character, like yeah, like some of the combos with Ulfric, or like getting to speak with like General Tullius, and like there's so many characters in the game, like everywhere in this game. And this is something I've realized because I've spoken to so many of the characters, right, in going through the NPC appearances. There's so many interesting characters, like interesting enough characters in this game, and some of them are decent. It's just really cool. And the question to me then becomes, how do you create a game with like sandbox dynamic storytelling, like the sort of stuff you would get from Dwarf Fortress or Rimworld, sorry. Ringworld. It's a Terry Pratchett novel, I think. How do you get that level of systemic interaction, or even like Mount and Blade is like a good example, while also getting that sort of soul from the character writing, like the individualized character writing, right? Yes, it's exactly that, Ragavar. It's like, how do you, God, wouldn't it be amazing if you somehow had Disco Elysium? I mean, Disco Elysium is so next level that you're never gonna hit anything quite there. But how do you even come close to approximating that in a game where like character personalities are made up of like systems, right? Like traits in like The Sims or Rimworld or stuff like that. That would be so interesting to me. It's a problem that I think about a lot, and I'm like, what would that look like? You have some solutions, like Animal Crossing is actually an interesting example in this space, because you have like several, like it's like 8 sets of personalities, or like 8 personalities that the various like hundreds of characters can choose from, right? Which is decent. It's like okay. But then, you know, it's like every character with a sassy personality is exactly the same as every other sassy personality character. So it's not perfect. It's very interesting to think. So like that, and then yes, voice acting limits it incredibly, which is why I think anything I put together would probably be written. I think you have, like, by written I mean just text dialogue. That would be the way to do it probably for any project that I would be working on, the scope of it, I imagine. That is an interesting idea, Skazuki. Having factions that are always the same and heroes, and they spawn in procedural worlds. I've not really thought about that. That is a cool idea, because then it's like, okay, the characters can be written, right, and their interactions with each other, and then what kind of changes them and affects them is like the world itself and how the world is procedurally generated. I was even thinking, like, you could definitely do that. I was even thinking like you could just like create the whole world and like write all the characters, right, but then also give them sort of a systems background that would allow you to like then like it would basically be like how in Mountain Blade every it's like the world is kind of a set character, right, all the characters in their specific spots or whatever. But there's kind of random elements to what happens next. Like the difference from playthrough to playthrough is like some randomization, some random elements, and also like what's changed by what the player chooses to interact with, right? So like that's an option as well. It's very, very interesting. There's a couple different ways to do it, and it is an interesting question to answer, interesting problem to solve. The crazy thing is like, yeah, maybe Tanya, that's kind of what, see, that's why like when I think about it, that's what I think about. And this is actually funny you said that, because it relates to what I was about to say. These ideas that we're talking about, right? These problems to solve, we are far from the first people to like consider these ideas, right? And like how to create a game that hits these notes. People have been thinking about this stuff as long as there's been games, probably even before then. It's always been like a limitation of technology, and I wonder if with some of the more advanced technology that we have now, if we'll see something like this being possible, like through AI, machine learning, perhaps. That could be really cool. And just, yeah, I mean, that's the alternative. D&D is... I'm so happy that I got to start playing D&D with a group like a couple years back, because I'd always wanted to, and I'd played so many Dungeons and Dragons based games, right? Like, you know, the Infinity Engine games and like Neverwinter Nights and all those. But you really need to play a tabletop RPG, I think, to get a strong sense of how much freedom you actually have. It's pretty nuts and really inspiring. I like to imagine that, I think that's Lorebook. Yes, it is. Imagine that he's playing the music that we're listening. Oh yeah, I've played a lot of AI Dungeon. It's very cool as well, Praxis. I think that's a solid kind of entry in what we're talking about. AI Dungeon is also the funniest thing. Like, you can really throw it for a loop. Like, that's one of my friends and I, it was like one of our favorite activities was to grab a few beers and just like put the most insane shit into AI Dungeon. I was talking about writing. What's my favorite fantasy sci-fi novel / series? That's really hard to say, Ragavar. I mean, Lord of the Rings. If I'm like favorite of all time, it's probably Lord of the Rings, right? It's high fantasy, you know, pretty different. Sorry, Daddy. I'm not quite Sorry, Daddy. I'm not quite sure what the bug... You can ask on the AltSky support Discord. That probably would be your best bet. Lord of the Rings is really fantastic. Like real sci-fi stuff. Like, I think that's like a hard question. If it's like the I think Star Trek maybe, which is ironic because I don't have like a comprehensive knowledge of like the Star Trek like discography, we'll say, the entire series. I mean, but I've seen enough and I know enough to kind of know what it's about, and that type of thing is extremely interesting to me from a writing perspective, right? Like the idea of like, I mean, like what is real sci-fi? I don't mean that in the gatekeeping sense. I just mean like, you know, people think Star Wars is sci-fi because it has kind of tech styling and stuff, but it's more like a fantasy hero story, right? Whereas something like Star Trek is a lot more like traditional sci-fi, where it's encouraging you to like ask and answer difficult questions about society and like the role of technology within it. Yeah, exactly. Well, so I like Star Wars a lot. I really like the extended universe. Although, again, I'm not, like, tremendously well-versed in it, right? I guess my favorite fantasy series, I like... It's weird because then the genres get a little blurred, right? I really like A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I liked the show up until about season 5, like most everybody else. And I've read all the books, and I think that they're beautiful, and a lot of fun, and generally quite good at exploring, I think, sci-fi and even fantasy, or it's like, I think we need kind of like a re-genreing here, because, again, like, oh wow, interesting. Yeah, watch our performance just get killed. Hey Finn, how you doing? Welcome. These are not actually the trees that I was going to show you, but we got a suggestion for a different tree mod that we're looking at. Ooh, these are very nice. Yeah, I've heard The Expanse is really good. And yes, Star Trek does seem very philosophical, right? Beautiful. I've gotten suggestions to watch The Expanse. Oh, these are very dead trees. But I was gonna say about A Song of Ice and Fires. I feel like it's very good at exploring the grayness. You know, I think some of my favorite series always kind of tackle the challenge of demonstrating how difficult and it is to live in the world and like be ethical, be moral, like what that really means. Stuff of that nature. Yeah, these are very nice. It's hard for me because my computer hasn't been restarted since Vietnam. It's hard for me to get a sense of what the actual performance impact is, but these are very nice on the whole. Let's see what the different areas. Yeah. So first of all, let's clear up that weather. Morthal swamps. Okay, okay. Falkreath. Exterior 01. Baby. Yes, this is Cathedral Weathers. Yeah, I really want to read the Witcher series. And I really want to watch the Witcher show, which I'm pretty sure I've been saying for a year. How long has it been? It's hard to say. Time is a flat circle and all that. Ooh, look at these. These are some interesting pines. They're almost like willows practically, right? Not really, but the way their things kind of fall down, I quite like. Oh yeah, these are nice. These are some beautiful trees. They're very vanilla. Although, these are... Okay. Just making sure. I thought I might have left Merkvior on. They're very nice. I have Aspens Ablaze disabled right now on Yielding Flame. Because I'm testing, you know, this tree mod right here. For fun. But normally I do have it enabled. This one is Speed Tree from the Cathedral Discord. Speed trees. I do think they're very nice. They are much closer to like vanilla styling, and I've been leaning like, I don't know, that does look really nice though. I was gonna say I've been leaning kind of away from that, but these are like pretty exceptional. My poor computer. It's so mistreated. I like, you know what I like most about these is the coloration. I think it's a good match. These do look very nice. It is very pretty. Very, very pretty. Oh, is this... How do you pronounce... Is it Fusture? Pafusture? I've never known, but I am very familiar with their work. Yeah, that looks very gorgeous. These are honestly a strong candidate. It would be nice. I mean, I really like the 3D trees as well, and I may... Ow. Can you not? Are you poisoned? Did you get hit by a spider? Or you just smell bad? Please stop. Please clap. Oh, you did get hit by a spider. Ugh. I'm gonna kill you. Fuchsia. We're gonna update what you think will release on Cathedral Discord eventually. Cool. Oh wow. So lots of trees. Well, if anything, then it's even. I should spend even less time on the trees, right? But the edits that we have to do are relatively simple. Yeah, trees are kind of, I think, no, because no one's really satisfied with where they are now, I think. Everyone wants to try their hand. I think that 3D trees is really good. I think that there's areas that people want to do something different. Okay. Oh, cool. I like that. Let's try the... the snowy trees. Hello. Hello. Oh yeah, Zara and Narafin, the classic pairing. Yes, I agree, Derpiest Kitty. I've never heard of this mod before, the speed trees. Uh-oh. Nice, nice. There, let's clear up that weather, eh? Ooh, this gives me very, like, Big Bear vibes. This is very cool. Oh yeah, this is really nice. Shit, everyone, we might have a we might want to rethink. Yeah, these look really good. Oh, look at that. Is that the LOD? Do they get wider? Or is that just like an LOD mismatch? Huh. I bet you when I get closer, these LODs will, yeah, change. Plot scope creep. It is true. It's, man, that looks real nice. I mean, if anything, it might save us time simply because then I wouldn't have to do like a custom tree edit. But I'll kind of leave that for later. I mean, what I really need to do is finish out the NPCs and then, oh, it's snowing. And then do the MCM automation, because all this stuff, like, it's, you know, I think it's important to get it right, don't get me wrong, but it's fluff at the end of the day compared to some of the more essential tasks for sure. I only tackled the little tree edit just because I wanted to break up the monotony and because it wasn't going to take very long. Yeah, these are very nice. I'm digging these quite a lot. Like this feels like a snowy forest to me, like ones that I've seen in real life. It immediately kind of gave me that feeling, right? Hello. Bye. Like, look at that. That looks great. Happy little trees. Oh, yeah. So you would want to mix together, you know, 3D trees and then these guys. And the standard 3D plants and all that business. You know how it is. You know what it is. Everything we do it big. How are these textures? Pretty good. Those are some high quality textures. Pretty good stuff. I quite like it. Hello? The color is great, and I feel like that's something that is like deceptively difficult to get right. Like, look at that. This looks like a, you know, this is a snowy forest, you know what I mean? Again, problem is I can't really see what the performance is like, not really. But I will check it out. Shit. It might be easier just to, oh, you know what I'll do is after this I'll open up the plugin. I'll just kind of see what it's doing at like a very basic level and then see what kind of, wow. This is really nice. Please, Ras, you know I love you, but I can't get that dripping on my screen, you know what I'm saying? Options, please? Please, will it let me? Please. Thank you. Camera visual effects, no thank you. Please remove. There we go. Yeah, which it really was the intention, Rear Isle. That's kind of like what I've been trying to to do here for very long. I do not have any plans as of now to patch Obus with Requiem Mad Menin. I feel like it's pretty intense as it is. But yeah, this is frankly great. This is really beautiful stuff. This is a strong contender. We were in Falkreath. You know where we haven't been is ye old Riverwood. Oh boy. Let's check the rift, because I don't have Aspen's Ablaze, although I pretty much just assume that Aspen's Ablaze is always going to take the rift, because it's just so... Mwah. It's a beaut. It's a beaut. Oh, thank you also for the follows, everybody. I completely missed them. I got... Nobody, aka Slayer, and Mythwind, and Geets the Nerdorican. Thank you for the follows. Here's beautiful Riverwood. Oh wow, look at that. That does look amazing, does it not? Wow. That is some beautiful shit right there. Yeah, that it does seem intensive, Last Fair. The problem is, like, I really need to be able to test this stuff on my updated PC just to get a point of reference, because I only have mine. Damn, son. Yeah, like a performance one. But I mean, you can always play... Wow. That is very nice. If I go like this, then what happens? Nothing. Oh, you know where we need to check as well is the reach. Yeah, this looks incredible. Depending on how it performs, I mean, I almost am inclined to just kind of plop it in there. You know what I mean? And then let people kind of control their performance with get drops to 45 within certain areas. Gotcha. Oh, that's a good point of reference. Thank you for that, Last Pharaoh. I could see it. What resolution is that you're playing in? Out of curiosity. Yes, this is... Again, it's the colors are very difficult to do well, and I feel like this really does a good job of hitting the intersection between realism and the kind of the vanilla art style, you might say. This is some beautiful heckin' biz right here. Because there's greens, but they're kind of deep forest, right? They are also... There's like some yellow and some brown kind of mixed in for like the dead branches. And the needles. Like that one's a bit tangier, if that makes sense. Beautiful. Gotcha, Last Pharaoh. This really is nice, though, is it not? Look at that. Yeah, I mean, really, the best thing to have would just be something you can kind of just drop in, and then it's fine. You don't need to change anything, right? So this definitely has that appeal for sure. This is I have, like, kind of low-key one of my favorite little spots to test is this. I feel like this specific path that goes up to like the Helgen cave that you come down from in the intro is like low-key one of the most beautiful like areas in the game, because I feel like they really, like, Bethesda put a lot of attention into making this area look nice, since it's kind of the first thing that you would see, right? And of course you throw the mods in there and it's just like kind of next level. Look at this shit. Are you kidding me? And see, these are the exact kind of like dead models that I wanted too. Like it shares a lot in common with not only with the vanilla art style, but also with the 3D trees styling, so to speak, right? Like, look at like this. Okay, so if you kind of can see here, the dark kind of desaturation, but also there's like these little splashes of color, right? Like you can see the light kind of the light lighting off of the branches, right? You kind of see some yellows, a little bit of lighter browns, a little bit of darker greens. It has that kind of variance that you get from real trees, like IRL, which is really, oh, and like these dead branches, motherfucker. Ooh. Too good. It's too good. Love it. Where you guys going? Yeah, this is a strong contender. I'm wondering if it's performant enough to include kind of in the build, right? It's like, I mean, if Fuchsia, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is working on a performance update, that would be great. I don't know what kind of timeline we'd be looking at there. It's a funny contrast with the music, is it not? And just like, oh, see, one of the things I always loved about what's it called? About 3D trees was the way that it modeled snow, like actual modeled snow on top of the model itself, instead of just kind of like a recolored pine texture, right? And it's really cool that this has that too. It could, see, the problem with making it like an optional ultra is that there's a plugin for it, and it can I generally do not like having players like add and remove plugins, right? And I wouldn't want to create or like add and remove mods from a game like mid save. So what, like our current, oh my god, will you look at this? Our current plan is to basically have like, so all the performance presets have all the graphics mods except for the potato, which has none of the graphics mods, right? Ooh. Okay, and with the Folkvanger like ground cover, it looks so good. Oh. Welcome back, Sacrilegious. Like, I look, because these are pine needles. This is one of the issues with some of the others, other tree mods, is that this ground cover is, uh-oh. Someone just shot ice at me. Oh, no, it was a bear trap. Ow, that is very effective. Yeah, seems that way, Ron. And with, like, Origins of Forest plus these, Orphan Rock. They don't, like, the textures don't seem like they're insane. Did I step on another bear trap? Do you guys hear that? You could compress them, maybe, but even then it's like, it gets very difficult to maintain multiple presets. The only reason that it's kind of viable right now is because the difference between the presets are pretty much based on your ini files, right? Let's clear up that weather again. Wow. Thank you for the gifted sub, Paris. That is extreme. Oh, I missed the other one, the first one. That's what the sound was. Thank you for 2 gifted subs. Very much appreciate it. See, I need to up my my audio levels. All I can hear is the Sims, just the Sims all day, every day. Yeah, this is really beautiful. It's a question of performance for sure. What I'm gonna do is after the stream, I'm gonna restart my computer and kind of close out all the extracurriculars. And right now I'm running on like the Ultra preset. So I want to see what this computer can kind of push out, right? Whoa. I'm not like, maybe it's just me, but some of the cathedral weathers, like weathers that kind of do this business where it's like a very colorized like fog, I'm not like a huge fan of those. The difference between the presets are things like fade distance for grass and shadows are a big one. I forgot we had that emote. I love it. There's other little things like actor fade and like the quality of the shaders, although we disable most of the shaders in favor of E and B shaders, that's for sure. But even like the shadow, and like the shadow resolution in addition to the distance, right? These mountain flowers. See, the default mountain flower models get a lot of hate. I understand that they're not great if you go right up and look at them, but I like them. I like the style. I like the 3D trees ones as well, but you know? So like, is this like a realistic weather right here? Yeah, I would like to see that last pharaoh. But so what I'll do is I'll restart my biz, right? And then I'll try it on the... So, like, when I use Jedi trees, right? Like, Jedi trees was one of the big performance killers for a lot of people. God damn, that looks good. When I lowered the preset, there was a pretty crazy performance increase. And the game still looked pretty good, if you ask me. I thought it looked really good still. And so that will make me feel a bit less bad for like including something like this in the official build. God damn. Thank you, Last Pharaoh. Let me whoops. Clearing out these weathers again. Are you kidding me with this? Like, you have to be kidding me. This looks beautiful. It looks like a freaking forest. It's redonk. Like it's like it looks too good to pass up on. But this is also without Dindulad generated. It's gonna be intense. Well, again, we'll see how the performance presets work. Let's see what they did for the reach. How about that? Shit. I missed one. I tried to do it all fancy. Hello, Missile Man. These are speed trees. Oh yeah, Rod. That's how it's been hard for me to do pretty much anything involving Legendary Edition since I started working on Special Editions. I just got myself too stoked. Yes, I'll do the Rift after. Oh boy. Oh, I'm excited. Last Pharaoh. How is it already 2:30? That's crazy. Y'all, it's a fun stream. Time flies when we're having fun. Okay. Yeah, see, like, you can really tell that my computer is struggling because it's like, normally if I'm here, I'm looking in this direction, I'm like at 60 FPS. So my poor computer has not been restarted in a year, it feels like. I'm streaming. It's a bummer. Sure, I think that Legendary Edition still looks pretty decent, but it's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, my poor CPU, it really is. And I'm like low on space in like a bunch of my drives. I'm low on space on the drive where all of this is running. One of the things I wanted to do this week was migrate everything back over to my computer, my actual computer. These are beautiful. I love it. What kind of trees are these? Is this an oak tree? I'm so bad about knowing what trees are what. Yeah, that's why Sacroleus, I pretty much, when I started working on Special Edition, I was like, okay, no more Legendary Edition. I just couldn't do it. My poor CPU. I don't know. Is this a wooden tree? I think it's made out of carbon fiber. And we got these junipers. Those look the same. I don't think it's editing those. These are beautiful. These are some fantastic effing trees right here. Some fantastic, some FFTs, some fantastic flipping trees. Looking like these dead ones kind of sticking out. I love it. The cool thing about this is that I don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? I don't have to like custom tree swap and this and that. It just, dare I say, it just works. Not sure I've seen how I've overhauled it. I don't... Sacroleus. The last time that I saw your Markarth, this was like months and months and months ago. It was on one of your streams. It would have been, I think, close to the beginning of 2020. Whoa! I made the jump. Wow, even like the ground cover. Although I think that... I don't know what texture that is. That could be the trees. I don't recognize that texture is why. But maybe not. Yeah, unfortunately, I will say that that's who I was speaking about before with the stop the resolution business. I wouldn't mind. It's like, it'd be one thing, you know, if someone just if you spread misinformation by accident because you didn't know any better and you just thought you were correct about something and it turned out that you weren't. Like, everyone's been there, you know what I mean? I try really hard to preface stuff that I'm really not sure about with some sort of, you know, like preface that way. I think the difficulty comes when someone is just has been corrected and is like, no, I'm not wrong. Even though literally every single person says that I don't know what I'm talking about on this. Leave me alone. Stop Naruto running at me. And then anyone who you know posits that they might be incorrect is basically like an asshole and a troll. I'm like, okay, then we've got an issue. Stop. Gotcha, baby. Ooh, you're all bloody. Yeah, I mean, Ellie is cool. There's still stuff that's cool about it that, you know, like, if you're talking a list of pros and cons, there are still some pros. And, like, I don't know, sometimes people just like what they like. I just draw the line at spreading information. And, I mean, I don't know. This is something like I think about a lot. Like, I really try. I think that your attitude and the way that you carry yourself and, like, interacting with people respectfully and, like, showing people courtesy and not even like courtesy, just like basic human respect is like a big tenet, I think, at least for me personally. And let's just say that there are some figures who do not generally seem to agree, or I don't know, maybe they have their own definition of what that is. You know what I mean? Like everyone does. It's a subjective thing. But you know, there's, like with any community of people, if it's large enough, there are different types of personalities that clash. But it's just, I want to be careful not to like characterize like pretty harmful behavior as like, it's just a difference of opinion. You know what I mean? Because that can be, you don't want to like hand wave away people being like actually shitty either. And unfortunately, that's the risk that you take with certain figures, we'll say. Yeah, I mean that's what it is too. It's not even just like, there's like so many areas in which he's like propagated misinformation, and he's like so stringently adamant that like, no, that's the truth, and like anyone who says otherwise is wrong, and like so on and so forth. I've seen him denigrate the works of like so many people with just false information. Like, that shit sucks, you know what I mean? If you're gonna like spread lies about somebody's work, and then kind of balk when someone dares to correct you, it's like, dude, what are you doing? But you know, like, the other thing is that, unfortunately, and it really is unfortunate because like I think that in a lot of ways, like Sinitar is someone who you cannot say does not work hard. You know what I mean? Like he clearly puts a lot of effort into stuff. It's just, I think that you can't escape your own karma, and I think that when you act that way and when you alienate a lot of people within the community that you operate, like there's really no escaping the consequences of that. And the consequence of that is that people don't want to work with you, and they don't, you know, like you don't get to work with that. Getting to work with people and stuff is one of the coolest things you can possibly do, because people have so much to teach you. If you ever think that, you know, you can't, I say this from personal experience, you know what I mean? Like, if you ever think that, you know, you're so great, I'm not saying this, he thinks this or whatever, but just suffice to say that you can learn so much, and you can improve your own craft by like being humble and working well with people and whatever. And if you can't do those things, then at the end of the day, you're doing yourself a disservice most of all. And it's sad, you know, because you hate to see it. Yeah, and like and at this point, like I know that this person has like alienated themselves not just from like the Elder Scrolls community at large, but also like Fallout. I know like the Fallout modding community has like issues. It's just like a consistent pattern of behavior. And at a certain point, you know, you just kind of have to go, well, okay, that there's too many instances of this exact thing happening to where it's not just a one-off, it's not just a fluke, it's not just someone having a bad day. It's like this is how they're going to be, and you kind of adjust your expectations accordingly. Oh yeah, let's go to the Rift. Well, I think one of the best, like, Sacroletius, one of the best things, I think that Sinitar's guides can be a great resource for like finding cool mods, right? Like I've looked at them, I've seen mods that he's recommended, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So, and this is what I mean, like, it's not that he doesn't work hard, it's not that some of what he does isn't high quality or like good effort and whatever, it's just all kind of mired in this attitude that is like really, it is like at best abrasive and like at worst like actively harmful to people, because he'll lie about you. Like he'll literally lie about your work, about whether, I've heard him say that Wabbajack is like this terrible fucking tool that produces a broken install, and that anyone who uses it, their mod lists are broken, and just you don't realize it because you don't know what to look for and all this kind of stuff. And it's just not true, you know what I mean? And it's not true really after looking for like really even half a second, you know what I mean, if you know what you're doing. And there's so much evidence that shows that none of that is true, and like this is actively harmful. Like you're lying to people, you're spreading misinformation, you're telling them that things are one way when it's not. So it's harmful to both the people whose work it is, and it's also harmful to your own users who are trusting you to tell the truth about what's happening. And that's not what happens. It's like I've heard that if you go into the Discord and you mention like Wabbajack or anything like that, it's like you're banned like immediately. And at that point you have to wonder, like, I wonder why, you know what I mean? Does he genuinely believe these things? Does he just not want to accept that that's not the truth for some reason? Like, I don't know. I actually have no idea. But it is a sad state of affairs for sure. Okay, let's go to Iverstead, everyone's favorite. I don't know if it's everyone's favorite. It's mine. Right, Last Pharaoh. That's what I figured I would do. It's like, it could be elitism. I don't know. See, elitism is yeah, totally, Finn. And that's what I mean. Like, it's just, I don't understand it. Or like, the best I could understand it, there's a variety of explanations that it could be, but I think that if someone kind of stringently insists on something that's not true being true, like, it usually touches something personal in some way, right? Like, I don't know what that symbolizes. I don't know. I mean, that's getting too armchair psychologist. But, oh, holy Charnbarian, thank you for the host. My gosh, I missed that. Thank you so much. I need to turn up my my audio because I can't hear any of the notifications. Okay, so these are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Thank you for the follow as well. Sorba1. These are beautiful. It's really hard to replace Aspens Ablaze, of course. And also I'm quite partial. These are really nice, though. It's very interesting to see this difference in color palette. I do like myself a green-yellow rift. But it's Aspens Ablaze is just that whole kind of like yellows and reds and oranges. It's just too much for me to give up. But it is really nice to see this. This is incredible work, for sure. It's quite beautiful. Yeah, maybe Sacrilegious. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. But it's like, why? Like, why not just make one yourself? You know what I mean? I don't know. Dunno. Yeah, but it's like, why? It's if I don't understand why his Patreon money or I think your work is only enhanced by the truth. You know what I mean? Or like by admitting when you don't know something and learning from it. Whatever. I don't want to denigrate anyone anymore, but it's very tricky because, again, like, this is a person who will actively kind of shit on people, unfortunately. I think, well, the draw is that, one, I mean, you do have those guides or like kind of compilations of cool mods that are worthwhile, but also I think that I think people find his work through the YouTube algorithms. And where's my water bottle? And they just don't know the difference. You know, they trust that what they're being told is the truth. And it's hard to fault them for that. It's just, unfortunately, it's not sometimes. Yeah, the height of these is really beautiful. There's some amazing stuff. I do find myself missing Aspens Ablaze, of course, but these are like very nice. These are some extremely nice aspen trees. You would have to go yeah, that's exactly. It's like a wrestling. It's like someone's got to be the villain, right? We'd have to pick like different ground cover. I do like this a lot, but I think I would have to stick with Aspens Ablaze because, my gosh, Aspens Ablaze. We all know. Everyone knows what's up with Aspens Ablaze. Some beautiful stuff. Some beautiful trees. Well, all right. Is there anywhere else we have not seen that has trees? Yeah, I was thinking that, Derpiest Kitty. It's like you replace the what's it called? The leaf texture. I bet you could do that. But I don't know. I bet it would not be quite so simple. Because I'm sure that my plans to have the aspens go brilliant orange. That is so awesome, Barian. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Just to make sure. I mean, that's one thing I really wish Skyrim had more of was actual seasons, right? Like, I love seasonality in games. It's so cool to have like a visual marker. I mean, ideally even a mechanical marker, like, you know, if it's colder in the summer or colder in the winter and warmer in the summer. But it is such a cool thing when games have, you know, a visual scenery differences from season to season. These are really nice. Beautiful. Yeah, I've seen that, Monique. This is what I mean, it used to be more of like a kind of an open secret. Now I feel like it's not even a secret anymore, really. Oh, really? Plot. I've seen some attempted implementations of like seasonality, right? Oh, and look, it's like as you get maybe more into the rift, it gets a little more orange, perhaps. Where am I right now? Going the wrong way. So that blows that theory out of the water. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is so much leaf. Those are some fluffy trees. Figure out the LED handling for seasons. Right. I could see that. Charmbarian. All right, is there any other, what time is it? We're nearing the ye old stream ending here. So if there's anywhere else that you guys would like to see, much leaf, mini tree. There's a throwback. God, y'all, when did the Sheeb Doge memes come out? That was when I was in college. So that was like 2013, 2014. It's fucking 2021 right now. Why is it called Aspens Ablaze? It's birch trees and aspen trees look pretty similar to each other, do they not? These are beautiful. It does make me like, damn. Like I am gonna miss these in favor of Aspens Ablaze, but Aspens Ablaze, you know what it is also? It's like if we had seasonality, like what Charm Baryon is talking about, like that would be, then it would be fine, because I think one of the reasons I love Aspens Ablaze is because of the variety that it brings to the general kind of feel of the game. I think the Rift is very unique in terms of colors and foliage, and I think that biome kind of variety is very enjoyable. But if we had like actual seasonal tree changes, then maybe something like this would be more on the table. In Python, JavaScript, XKC development possible. I'm sorry, Charmbarian, you are allowing people to use Python and JavaScript with SKSE? Yes, that is also true. That would be wild. See, like this is very green. It's like a good kind of compromise as far as green goes, right? That is true about the Skyrim's gameplay. That's why, like, what I've generally tried to do with like Ultimate Skyrim is kind of bring in that like Daggerfall, almost like Daggerfall X Sims style of gameplay, right? Where there's a lot more things that you can do to kind of passively spend time, like studying, like train and study, or like spell research, or things of that nature, where you kind of train skills by like passing time. No, dude, if you can bring all of that stuff to SKSE, I might cry. Not because I'm capable of coding like and taking advantage of it, but because I know people who are, as I'm sure you do. Oh man, don't get me excited for that, because whoa, Charmbarian, you are, I mean, dude, like I knew some of, like I had seen some of like fully dynamic game engine because I started looking into your work, right? Like, dude, you were, if any of that comes to fruition, that is like, those are all like game changers. Uncle Robert, yes. For me, the kind of arguably the ultimate goal of Ultimate Skyrim is to turn it into a pseudo life sim. I still like to retain all the, you know, adventuring and what you might call the intended core gameplay of Skyrim, right, and of Requiem. But just expanding on top of that with like life sim elements has always kind of been my goal. I just want to make like a world for you to exist in. You know what I mean? I kind of, the whole philosophy is always like, if a player asks themselves like, would I be able to do this thing that you would ostensibly be able to do in this type of world? I want the answer to be yes. You know what I mean? Yeah, no kidding. That is not, yeah, Sky Sims. Simrim. If you might. Right. I could totally see that, Charmbarian. Just lowering that accessibility floor would be a huge, like any way, shape, or form that you could do that in would be a huge stride. That is so awesome. Well, I was going to say, like, just being able to move away from Papyrus would be really nice, I think, for a lot of people. I mean, I'm not a coder myself, right? So I mean, I'm not a coder, and even I know some of the quirks, we'll say, of Papyrus that make things a little strange. Even like the conditional evaluation, like the logic of it is kind of strange sometimes, and that's not even really like, I don't have to code in order to feel the brunt of that. Right. I know that Python is pretty close to Papyrus. Oh, someone asked what I went to school for. I actually started out as computer science. Way back in the day. Oh, this is kind of weird. And then when I was in college, I was a lot more interested in the social element of college versus the working super, super hard on my schoolwork. So I ended up swapping over to film theory. So I'm also a big fan of film and television, which is in and of itself not an easy major depending on what your skill set is, but it is certainly easier than computer science, I think. I really liked my major a lot. Force Av stamina. But there are definitely some times now that I've gotten into kind of game development that I'm like, damn it, I wish that I were a better coder and did some more CS. Ah. Did Matt Pat also do that? I am not aware. Yeah, the reason I even thought about it, oh look, here's one of the battles, is Python was what they started us out on. I know that that's commonly referred to or imagined as like a beginner-friendly coding language. You did it! Good job, everybody. What you doing? It's like they've all been suddenly... What are you doing? Is it because I adjusted the timescale? I feel like they can't decide whether they want to finish the battle or not. Okay. You guys have fun. I'll see it. What happens if I wait an hour? Yeah. Oh. Well, they went somewhere. Except for this guy. This person stuck around. Ernard. Whoa. Nah, I'm alright. This guy stuck around too. What are you guys doing? Maybe they're just holding position here, waiting for the next patrol of Stormcloaks to come by. I've never seen that before. Weird. Oh, wait. What are you... Alright. Whatever. Have fun. Yeah, so usually their AI is like they complete a battle and then it triggers like a post-battle sequence where they all kind of like cheer and then move on to their next target. I don't know what they're doing here. Sometimes things break when my performance is really bad, so it could be that I've broken something. But I don't know what they're doing. They're not like cheering. Yeah, it looks like they're still in combat. Like something is still... But they're not chasing it, and the search AI... Well, that could be the search AI. Doesn't look like it's kicking in. Maybe they're waiting for... Maybe that's the captain up there. Whoop. Something's weird. Yeah, maybe. Could be something clipped into the mountain. Let's see. I can clip into the mountain. Don't worry, guys. I'll fish them out for you. But that would be weird, too, because that usually doesn't happen. Hello? The crucially important mountain pass. Will you guys leave if I wait another hour? 2 hours? 1 hour. No, they're still here. This is very odd. Who can say? I'll leave you to your own devices. Ooh, I want to see the sunset. I want to go back to kind of the Riverwood area for the sunset. Well, here. Let me go What's that one spring and cave in the Falkreath area look like? The one where you say the wounded dude on the log. Oh, do you know the name of the location? I remember what you're talking about, Dervious Kitty. I don't remember the name of it. Oh, also I'm going to do this. Set time scale to 0. Permanent golden hour, baby. Oh! This we got to show off, right? Am I right? Before we go with the beautiful trees. You can see my poor textures trying to catch up. Holy fuck! Oh my god. Now those are some trees. Are you kidding me with this? Okay, hold on. I gotta alt tab. Where's the Sims? Here we go. As much as I love you, Sims, and you know I do, we gotta pause. I gotta crank that desktop audio way up there. Ooh. You guys getting that audio now? Let's immerse ourselves, shall we? The pink. Alright, here, we're gonna turn off all the overlays. I wish I could turn off... Can I turn off the lens? I already have it disabled. Shit. I don't know if I can turn that off. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Damn, son. God rays. I'll teleport. Thank you, Hexplicit, for that Moss Mother Cavern exterior. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just enter that, so that way we'll have it in the history. Damn. Turn around, see what it looks like in the other. Damn, son. Yeah, exactly. Who's to say, son or son? Shit. It's like so beautiful. Ugh. Yeah, I think, you know, come hell or high water, I think I'm gonna have to include this tree mod. It's just too good not to. Thanks for hanging out, Sacroletius. Lovely to see you as always, my friend. Also, Charmbarian again, if you're still in the chat, thank you again for the host. Much appreciated. God damn. Oh yeah. What is it called? Mike for... Oh yeah, here you can see my poor hard drive struggling to keep up. Come on, baby, you can do it. You can do it. Come on. Almost there. Thank you for joining us, Tanya. I really appreciate it. I know that it was an early day for you. There we go. There it is. All right. Let's go ahead and teleport here and see what it looks like. And then, yes, that's what DVL ASS. I know it has ass in it. That's what I always remember. I'm glad. Thank y'all for suggesting this. Last Pharaoh, I believe this was your suggestion, was the speed trees? I'd rather just include it and...
I really got myself into it this time.
Oh, did you? Did I just get poisoned by something? What happened? What'd I do? Did I get injured? Maybe? Okay.
That is a lot of...
Yeah, it's nuts. It's really nuts. Yeah, I've contracted oh, maybe it's the weather. I've contracted astigmatism. Okay, there we go. Much better. Oh! I guess we didn't make it here in time. Oops. Well, here it is. The Underside edition has a lot of conflicts. Yeah, I've heard the same, actually. Apparently, he can just die. I did not realize. I mean, he tried to warn us. He was like, I'm dying. Please help. Oops. What about inside the cave? Let's find out. I just wanted to take a look at this kind of outside area. If you leave him, first time you see him, he dies. I did not know that. See, like little things like that. That's a great touch. Ah! Scared me. I feel like I also need to add in that Obsidian's rain and fog weathers. There's like a mod for that. Alright. We'll go inside Moss Mother Cavern. And then we'll call it then. Pretty good. Yeah. I had it, and then I don't have it anymore, I don't think. Maybe I do. Who's to say? Guys, Requiem installation completed. It's dark. Do I have a torch? I do. This sucks. I hate the default torches. Maybe I can patch the torches for E and B light so that they get cast on the grass cover. True Storms is not included as of now. I removed that a little while ago. If you don't help Cicero with that wagon, the farmer and his family die. Whoa, I did not know that. That is awesome. Plot. That's crazy. Really nuts. Oh, cool. I think there's like a synthesis patcher for patching things with EMB light. I have a question. My next question for you. Can we... Oh, nice. Oh, that's rad. That's great. Uh-oh. Is there any hope that... Uh-oh, okay. She tried to warn me. Good invisibility, doofus. I can still see you. Uh-oh. I still need to swap in those new bear models as well. Don't do it. Kill in all caps. Family dies. That's awesome. Is there any hope that we can patch first person for E and B light? Because I spend a lot of time in first person, you know what I mean? I know a lot of other people don't, but I do. And it's a bummer having it only be in third person, you know? Help. Flames for a spell? I think it's... oh yeah, it's Fire Sparks in Requiem. See, like, that works. Not my torch. Hopefully one day. Anyway. Oh, wow. See, it looks so nice, though. But then you go into first person. Nothing. So you just got to go into, what's it called? Third person, I guess. When you're near plants. Jow. Alright, y'all. The EMB light works the same first person. The light source from your body. You lack immersive first person camera. The light source vanishes. Shit. Ah, I understand. Well, I have, you know, this guy, right? It's not a, immersive first-person view. It is immersive camera. It's whatever the port is of it. Yeah, improved camera. That's what I have right now. But I'm guessing that if there is a light source, it's probably that there's not a light source, and that also if the light source is there, it's probably outside my field of vision. These third-person arms. Gotcha. I understand. So is the issue that there's not actually a light source right here, right now, on my model? If I'm understanding correctly. Fuck you. Well, hopefully. I mean, I can leave that for the future, later versions. Talk about... you know, I'm trying not to scope creep. You know how it goes. Anyway, I think that's where I'm going to call it. Oh, look. We did it. Check the open area at the end of the cave. Okay, I'll check it really fast, and then we'll call it. Don't kill me. doesn't like that. Spriggans are so cool. Got them in all caps. Open area at the end of the cave. Woo! Look at this business. It's a bit dark right now. Here, let me get rid of my my torch. Oh yeah, and we still have this issue. You remember this weird particle bug? It's like something with the dust. We found that in Helgen. I still haven't fixed it, but I still need to. It's like dust particles. Who knows? Uh-oh. Ugh, Spriggan Matron. I think. So, unfortunately, I'm sorry. This is not a great showcase of the flora here. Set game hour to, geez, all caps. 12. It's not that much brighter. Oh yeah, I feel the same way. All right, y'all. Well, I hope this was a fun stream. I'm gonna go ahead and call it then because I'm starving. I got some. Yes, it does look really nice. I got some leftovers in the fridge that are calling my name. So this week, basically, my plan is to. I mean, it looks like there's still a lot going on in the tree sphere. So, I mean, frankly, with these trees, I'm probably not going to spend that much time on a custom edit as it is. It was fun to learn how to do it and to, you know, go through a task like that. And I only spent a couple hours on it last night, so it's not a huge use of time. Thank you all for joining. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, everybody. So I'm basically going to finish up the NPCs, and then as soon as I finish the NPCs, it's on to the attempt to automate all the MCMs, and that's one of the last big tasks. After that, it's basically testing, updating any mods that need updating because we can't nab them anymore, and then that's pretty much it. There's a couple crafting changes that I need to make, but those are fairly simple edits. And I need to drop in the latest version of Sunhelm. But we're getting very close, getting very, very close to release, which is really exciting. And really, I'm going to try my very best just to keep everything streamlined, no scope creep, so I can get everything to y'all as quickly as possible. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Let me go ahead and see who's streaming, who I can raid if y'all are interested in sticking around on Twitch. Who's up? Who do we got? Oh, no. Please pause. Oh, my boy, Retro Brando. I don't know what he's playing. CT. She's always streaming Morrowind. We could keep it in the community. We could go with CT. Retro Brando is a really cool speedrunner. I think he's been playing Jurassic Park lately. Like the Jurassic Park roller coaster tycoon game. I can't remember what it's called. I'll raid CT. She's playing some Morrowind. And also I believe she might be playing Yajan, which is Ring's thingy. Oh yeah, Kit Boga, of course. I'd raid them. I don't, they're probably large enough. I don't think Kit Boga needs our raid quite the same. All right, raid incoming. So thank you all again for joining me. You know, I appreciate it. Thank you for spending your time with me. I'll be back. My plan is to basically keep this time slot for now. So like the Monday at noon, and then later when I introduce more streams again, then I'll probably do some of the other time slots. So unless you hear from me again, you don't have to worry about this time slot changing for the moment. And yeah, we're pretty much good to go. So thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate it. Hope everyone stays safe. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week at the same time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.